L'amore sai perdonerà. Oggi stai qua, ma perché sei partita? L'amore sai perdonerà, ma lo avvita questa ferita. Per me la vita non ha più senso, eri tu il mio ultimo amore, e se domani devi partire non potrò più ricominciare.
Hello, welcome to episode 144 of Floating Through Film. It is your host Luke, and today we are at the end of another year in our film watching careers. And so, as in tradition, we are going to be recapping our movie watching experiences this year. So, these are always some of the longest and probably most fun episodes to make. Or really just most satisfying, I would say. But yeah, before we get into it, let me introduce my co-hosts, Blake.
What's up?
Danny.
Hello.
And today we're joined by a special guest who has never been on the podcast before. We probably definitely mentioned him.
He has listened in on many.
Yeah, our friend Dustin. Introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going? Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. We record this on Christmas. But, so yeah. I don't even know what to say. Like,
I mean,
how do y'all feel about this year? Like, in general, like, you think you watched a lot? Or...
I think I watched less than last year.
I also definitely watched less than last year too. Last 2 years for sure.
And I think I had more rewatches than I had last year also.
But I would say the quality, I feel like, of my watching went up. I would say, like, I had a lot of quality watches. Like, putting my list together was extremely hard this year. What about you, Danny? You like?
I don't think I'm gonna go by these numbers. I'm already having trouble. Because like a lot of my, especially for rewatches, like usually when I'm picking a favorite rewatch, I'm not trying to like put them in like rank them. Like usually if I'm rewatching,
You have to.
it's like it's all in the same tier, which we know tiers are way better than like individual number rankings.
Yeah.
So that's why it's hard for me. Like if as we go to the top 5 rewatches, like how do I just pick 5 if like I'm rewatching most films for the same reason a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I'll try to come up with something.
Okay. At least, give us some effort. But all right. Yeah, Dustin, you.
Hot 24.
Pretty happy with the movies I've watched this year. Not a lot of quantity, but I'm definitely a quality over quantity guy. I try to be deliberate with the movies I watch.
Yes,
I definitely had some good rewatches.
Yeah, sure.
But we'll get into that.
We'll link your Letterboxd account in the description for
Sure,
sure.
I appreciate that.
Give you a shout out, but
Yeah, let the people know where they can find me.
don't let you be forgotten. But yeah.
You see some Cowardly 4s?
Oh, definitely a lot of those.
Oh, I'm collecting
my.
records on everyone here. So
He has the receipts for us.
we'll get back to that.
All right.
We should have the Cowardly 4 award.
Absolutely,
Cowardly 4
absolutely.
award.
I'm ready for it.
Danny,
You win it, Dustin.
Dustin invented.
I don't know. Dustin did invent it, but Danny's
Danny's definitely Danny's
What?
up there
No,
with him, to be honest.
no.
though.
Luke. Okay, this is
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Future episode.
So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get into it if no one else has anything to say. But
Luke's iron fist on these lists.
I'm just trying to structure it a little bit. Give some structure.
We hate structure. We love floating, Luke.
That is true. Some structure is good sometimes.
No, you're right.
So especially when it's like there's a lot of stuff we have to talk about today.
No, you're right. You're right.
So how we're gonna structure this is we have kind of an itinerary here. We're going to start off with the worst film we watched this year. Then we're going to get into our top 3 films of 2024, which kind of differentiates us from other like movie podcasts who like most of their year-end stuff is like top 10, top 15 movies of 2024. Oh, and here's some like first watches for you guys, I guess. But we're more focusing on like the first watches, of course, because that's like more what we focus on.
Because I don't watch new movies.
Yeah, it would have been a struggle for us, let me tell you, if we did any more than 3. And then we're going to do top 5 rewatches, and then top 10 first watches of the year, which will be like kind of the main event, as you will. And then we're going to get into some film resolutions for next year, and then end it off with going through our Letterboxd stats. So, exciting day for us today, but let's get into our first area of discussion, which is our least favorite film that we watched this year. This can be a film that came out this year, or something that you just like watched recently, or that could be like older movie that you watched that you just like absolutely hated. And
I can kick us off because
All
I think
right, Blake's ready.
I want to say that Danny might have brought this up for his worst movie last year, and it intrigued me, so I had to watch it.
Interesting.
It's Transformers: Rise of the Beast. This movie's fucking ass, man.
Wait,
It's
you
like
watched that?
I did. It's
didn't know you
terrible.
watched it.
Damn, I
It
forgot.
is a legitimately terrible movie. Like, it takes all the fun out of actual Transformers, but because I have also two movies in this one because I wanted one. That's the worst movie I've watched this year, but the worst movie I've watched from this year is Deadpool versus and Wolverine. Sorry, not versus Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That movie is actually terrible as well. Like, I mean, it got me to laugh a few times just because lowbrow humor, like, it gets me, so it's just inadvertently. But the movie itself is like trying to have its cake and eat it too. Like,
It definitely seems like a movie that like doesn't even want itself to exist.
it seems like that, and then it does everything that Marvel wants it to be.
Yeah.
It's like everything that Marvel wants it to be at the very end, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
I
So.
feel that.
No, it's on my list too. So
And then also Twisted Marriage Therapist, which you guys maybe watch. That movie is also terrible.
Okay. All right, Dustin, you got. He wants Danny to go first.
So I have a few. I mean, Deadpool Wolverine was on mine. I guess like it's funny because this is supposed to be the worst film we watched, but like a lot of these are just from 2024. So Deadpool Wolverine, The Killer, the remake.
I did.
Oh,
I would
I
have
thought
got
that
on
was
my worst list. It's
Of course,
it's
Blake
not
likes
good.
it. Blake likes it. He likes it.
No,
John Woo
I don't
Henry.
like it, but
Like it's John Woo.
it's still not a good movie, but it's not bad either. I would say.
Like, what's bad about it? Like,
It's definitely bad.
It's just forgettable and just like
Forgettable. Yeah.
it's got like a Netflix, Amazon Prime kind of vibe to it too. You know, like,
yeah.
from
that's
John
rough.
Woo.
God
'cause-
damn.
And it's a remake of
When you find out
a
you
great
really watched-
movie. Like,
It's a remake of
So
like
it's
one
completely
of the-
unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you find out you go this watch.
So I had to put that.
It's unbelievable.
But
It's very unfortunate it exists, but I had fun watching it. So.
You're the only one.
yeah, Blake's of course gonna show for it, so it couldn't get. I was gonna see what he's gonna say about that. But then my other ones, we also were forced to watch Cats on the podcast,
No, I forgot about that.
and then I watched
Terrible
this
movie.
yesterday, so I have to say it because it was so disappointing. Gladiator 2.
Oh,
yeah.
you watched it?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was
I'm
like
not
honestly like the
surprised
second
you
half
did.
especially just like a pain to get through.
You don't like the men's bodies? Isn't that why people watched it?
I mean,
I assumed you watched it for Denzel.
Denzel's alright. Yeah, it just I don't know. The story is so bad. Like,
How does it? It looks terrible too. I'm
I
assuming.
mean, the
Or
look
does
is
it look
mostly terrible. Yeah, but yeah, those are mine basically.
I still need to watch it.
Honestly, not a terrible movie. Like I was going through because usually like now I don't rate movies that I think are bad. So I was going through my movies I didn't rate. Like, oh, I didn't actually watch too many bad movies.
I didn't really either. I just had some that stood
And like
out.
some of the bad movies I like that I kind of liked were like Madam Web.
Yeah, I actually agree with
That
you
was
on that.
fun,
I agree with you
yes.
on that. I like Madam Web.
Yeah, Velocipaster.
That's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Yes.
So is Madam Web though, in a way. If you think about it.
I haven't watched Madam Web. So.
You should.
Yeah.
Do I need to?
But Dustin, did you have any?
Yeah. Okay.
What's your worst?
It's between two movies. I definitely want to mention both of them because they're both bad. One of them is The Descent Part 2.
Wait, what?
Have I seen that movie?
Yes, you have. Yes, you
Did I
have.
like it?
No,
Okay.
you hated it too.
Damn, I didn't know there was a part 2.
Yeah, exactly. There shouldn't be. It's one of the most unnecessary sequels I've ever seen. It just like tries to do the same thing the original does, and it's just a lot worse. It's a different director, I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking.
If I had to guess, it would be.
Yeah, it is.
It's just not nearly as good.
Harris.
It's his only movie.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
editor for
Good
like
sign.
a lot of stuff.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah, but it's really bad. Definitely don't recommend. But I
I
watched
don't
that
even
around.
remember it, so
Yeah, I watched that around Halloween time, but yeah.
that's the time for bad movies.
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea, and I had just rewatched the first one, which is great.
Yeah, I
But
did
this
love
one-
the first one.
This one was just terrible. But the one I really wanted to mention was the Roadhouse remake that came out this year with Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor.
Cokehead,
It's awful.
Cokehead Conor McGregor.
I will say he plays his role really well, actually.
I mean, he doesn't have to do a lot of acting, probably.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. He fits the role perfectly. But I shit you not, the reason I wanted to bring this up is my parents have watched this movie, they've told me at least 10 times. And it came out this year.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
Some people just be living different
Like
realities.
it's
bro.
crazy where I'm like,
It's
oh, I
incredible.
love this movie. I've seen it so many times, and it's like 8 times.
Yeah.
Like someone has rewatched the same movie 10 times in the same year. I'm like, I'll
That's
never.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, the Roadhouse remake.
So, I took their word for it. I watched it. It was awful.
Never take
Definitely,
your parents' word for anything.
Well, sometimes they have good taste, but this is one
Yeah.
case where they definitely didn't.
What is it? Is there anything specific about the movie that you're like, why is it grabbing them so much? Or is this a
It's-
classic?
it's-
You also have this on, but you're doing other shit with on your laptop or on your phone too, kind of movie.
I think it's just because we used to live in Florida, like our
The surrounding.
my
settings.
parents moved us there in my teenage years, and I guess they miss it sometimes. So like, I don't say anything.
So
It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's the settings.
That's
What a way to
and
bring
then
it back to
especially
Florida.
especially the Keys, which is where the movie is set. So they have really fond memories of that
Right.
area. That's my only guess because it's not a good movie.
Did they like the original Roadhouse?
I don't know. Actually, I didn't-
Damn, they're not even
asked them.
They're like, I've never seen it. Never seen it.
This was a remake?
All right.
It just,
What about
it's just,
you?
it's something to show you though. Is like, because this is true with like coworkers too. When they'll just mention the most random movies.
Oh yeah, you're like,
And they're like, "This is my most favorite movie of all time." I'm like, I think I know movies, and they'll name like the most random. I'm like, how is this someone's favorite movie?
like these people be living a different reality.
yeah,
bro. It's
but that's
crazy.
what movies can show you. It's like almost everyone's living a different reality.
Yeah, honestly.
What about you, Luke? Did you?
Damn. So honestly,
Luke's the king of watching bad movies, honestly. 'cause he
Not
watches
really.
He watches the most new
coming from
movies.
way, yeah.
No, but he watches the most new movies, though.
Okay, barely.
But you watch the most bad movies. For
Yeah,
sure.
come on. Yeah, that was an insane.
A
Take.
lot of
Yeah,
those
that
are
was crazy.
bad movies that are labeled bad movies by the masses.
And you also
and
give
by
it,
your
you
own
also
ratings.
give it to
And
like,
by
2
your own
stars.
ratings a lot of the time.
Come on, bro.
Fair.
I don't actually watch a lot of bad movies though. Like,
Which I'm not saying it's bad to watch bad movies, but it's
yeah,
definitely a Blake
it can be
watching.
interesting, especially in the case I'm about to bring up. But
Okay.
because I forgot about Cats, dude. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's in contention. It's probably around the same as this one, but the one I picked is Civil War, which I watched last week. And honestly, you guys, I kind of want you guys to watch this now because I know both of you liked Alex Garland, like with Ex Machina Annihilation. You guys liked him then,
Yes.
and you watched Men. You didn't like it. So did I. I fucking hated Men. Like, it's honestly absurd. This is the same guy made Annihilation. It's like, it's honestly. Did you watch it?
No.
Okay.
But I understand the fall off.
Okay, yeah. It's
I watched Devs. That was
Okay.
way worse than both of
Days.
his first
I
movies.
didn't. I don't. It's like when I saw a TV show, I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. But Civil War, it's like just the most vapid, like empty movie like I've ever seen. Which I guess is Alex Garland's kind of forte. He's like, but like this is like taking up to another notch. Especially he's not in like the kind of like dystopian futuristic sci-fi. Like it's still a dystopian kind of sci-fi. Not really though. It's just like dystopian, I would say. But it just has like nothing to like latch onto. It's all so ugly. Like it literally, it's shot like you're not gonna believe this if you watch it. Like this is the same guy because like it looks like a student film. I swear to God, it's like so amateurish how it's shot. Like half the movie scenes are just in like these like plain grassy fields for some reason because like I guess there's a war going on and we gotta go to the White House or something. I don't fucking remember. It was just miserable to watch. Which I mean
You knew you were gonna hate it.
I mean, yeah, I was curious to be honest. I was just curious, like, what was gonna like, what he was gonna like, say about like Civil War and like the current political climate and whatever, like in art or I guess photography's role in it, like the photography's role in it, and he just doesn't really say anything about it because he's like a dumb centrist guy who probably like listens to Joe Rogan or something. Like,
What's his next movie?
I think I heard.
It's
It's the Iraq War movie.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the trailer just came out. For
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's gonna be bad.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
Luke will be here next year to let us know how that is.
Yes, you will.
Kill me. Yeah.
I think I also watched Saltburn this year, which I forgot about.
Oh.
Because I watched that on your recommendation.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, I guess I did kind of like. I gotta see how bad this is.
It's
That was my
exactly,
recommendation.
exactly.
Let's clarify. Let's clarify. I said, look, you gotta see how bad this shit is. Like, yeah,
And a lot of people like it for some unknown reason.
yeah, somehow, for some reason.
I have no idea.
But yeah, Civil War.
I think it's just the dick. Sorry.
You mean like the? What do you mean
Clip
like
that.
Do you mean like the? You mean like
the end of the movie?
Oh, I thought I didn't know if you were talking about him like masturbating.
Well, I
That
mean,
one
yeah, I
scene.
guess that too.
Let's just not. Let's just leave it. Let's leave Saltburn in the past where
Yes.
it belongs. But yeah, now we're gonna go and get into our top 3 of 2024. Dustin, do you have your number 3 ready? We're gonna kind of go in a circle here.
Okay, because I don't have a numbered list, so I might have to
Rap.
You mean to go? I can
Okay, you
just
go
Yeah, you
first.
go first.
My first film is Evil Does Not Exist, directed by Ryosuke Hamaguchi. This one, it's quite a peculiar, like kind of a mysterious film that he made this year. I definitely need to get more into Hamaguchi because like I need to rewatch Drive My Car, which I liked when I watched it, but it was a while ago. But this one, it's really good. Like it's such an unsettling film, even though it's like there's not really like a lot to it that he's like. In terms of like the subject matter, it doesn't feel like it would be a mysterious film because it's about like this kind of like rural like town in like Japan and kind of like these like and basically it's about like these people like building, I forgot what exactly, they're building some type of like attraction there or something. Like these like city people come in. And it's kind of a film about like the sort of like the quiet conflict that comes into play between the two. It's such a peculiar, mysterious film. It's like almost about like how absurd progress can be, in terms of like how like urban can like kind of take over the rural areas. It's a super interesting film. I definitely need to rewatch it to fully grasp it, but yeah, I definitely recommend it. So
I need to watch it.
yeah.
You keep up with Hamaguchi.
All right, Dustin, you got
So
anything?
this is gonna be our number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Oh shit.
If you have 3.
I have 3, but
I barely.
Okay.
You gotta rank them real quick.
I barely-
See, this is where I'm like, mine are not going to be ranked.
Yes, they are.
Because they're in the same
Whether you like it
tier.
or not.
I have a tier system coming up. I'm just letting you know.
so I will say up front, I've only watched 9 movies that came out this year.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
One of them being Roadhouse, which I just shit.
Yeah.
Probably my 3rd favorite. I'll probably go with Trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
That almost made my list.
That is
Yeah,
on
that
my
almost made
list. So.
There's a lot of like slapstick kind of type of comedy in some of
Yes,
it,
sir.
and it does get a little repetitive towards the end, but it's kind of funny how it plays out too.
Oh,
It's
it's
like, all right,
hilarious,
come
yeah.
on, how's
That's
this
hilarious.
guy not been caught yet?
That's what's so good.
But I thought it was entertaining, and I always got to shout out a movie with Kid Cudi in it, and of course,
And Russ.
yeah.
Yeah. I know you're going wild for Russ. But yeah.
Yeah, no, Trap is also on mine. I can just start with Trap. It's
That's
not,
your number 3?
I mean, it's not my number 3. It's technically my number 2, but I'll just start with it since Dustin already
Is that
brought
your
it
number
up.
3?
So.
So you would say they're in the same tier, basically.
I mean, the bottom 2 are in the same tier.
Don't look at me like that.
I mean, like Dustin's seen 9 movies this year. I've only seen 11 movies from this year, so I mean, like,
Yeah, I haven't seen that many.
It's
either.
not a
That's
lot.
Like for all of us, we're just seeing a lot of the movies we like from this year. We're not necessarily like
yeah.
historians of the
Mine's
2024
like
film.
No, we are
14,
not.
I think. So I'm not blowing y'all out of the water like
You
Blake
are not,
suggests.
actually.
But all right.
Yeah, my number, like I said,
You're
I
about to
have
say.
a-
You're about to say.
I basically have 2 tiers.
Uh,
I have the tier of movies I liked from 2024,
Okay.
and there's only one movie I really loved from 2024.
Okay.
So Trap is in that tier that I liked, but there's also 3 other movies. I guess the other movie I would mention because we've already talked about on the podcast is Challengers.
Okay.
They're all in like the same tier that I liked, I really like. But yeah.
So you like if you had to like order them though, you know.
Yeah, they're in the tier 2.
Like
along with 2 other movies I haven't named yet.
Anyway.
Because they all have the same rating. That's why it kind of makes sense. Like, I'd be lying if I ranked them.
All right, so that's Danny's number 3.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
which one though? Trap or Challengers?
You said Trap
You
first?
said challenge? Oh, okay.
You said
I got you.
He seemed more enthusiastic when he said Challengers though, so I'm gonna say that's.
Well, I like him both.
Well, if he said it sounded more enthusiastic, wouldn't that be his number 2 then?
No, because I have 2
No,
other
'cause he
ones.
has
I have
2
2
other
other
ones.
ones coming
He has 2
up
other ones.
in the same tier.
It's 4 instead of 3.
In the
Yes.
same tier.
This guy, this guy,
Surprising.
he loves making up shit on the fly.
All right.
You liked 4 movies from this year?
I liked 4, and there's one I love.
Surprising.
This guy hates movies, bro.
There's one movie you loved from this year.
Yes.
Yeah, all of mine I love.
I'm looking forward to that one.
So,
No,
Because I don't.
I'll probably get hate for it.
yeah.
Let me see if I can think of it. I should be able to think of it since you said that.
Well, let's do our 2s now.
Yeah, my.
Or however you want to do it. I was about you to let me finish.
Yes, sir. We got him. Number
Your tier 2s. Yeah, what's your tier?
Submit defeat, bro. Yeah, we got you. Number 2 is Challengers, as we kind of already said. I mean, the number 2 and number 1 are pretty close for me. It's the other one slightly edged this one out in terms of like, and I'll talk about it, but basically, yeah, Challengers, great film. We talked about it already, but it's definitely such an easy watch. Like, you can definitely
like. I just wish we had more movies like this in theaters.
Oh,
Like, I'm talking
absolutely.
about Trap 2 and Challengers.
Oh
like,
yes, yeah.
Like, glad we both watched them both in theaters.
I mean, I'm always down.
Actually, we didn't watch
We
Challengers
didn't
in
watch
theaters.
Challengers
Fuck.
in theaters.
Yeah, I'm like making the theater
Yeah,
argument.
we're fucking idiots, bro.
We were wrong for that one.
Oh,
It looked bad when it came out. I can't lie, but
Yeah, I was.
wrong
I mean,
about
I
that.
thought I was
I was
interested in
kinda
it.
like,
I was
hated
interested in
before
it,
that.
but I just got lazy and didn't watch it. But
Like,
like,
see, I like Shyamalan. I'm gonna watch anything he does in theaters.
yeah.
Luca, I gotta start feeling that way for it.
Queer just came out.
Is it in theaters?
Yes.
And I'm like,
Really?
damn. I'm like, literally, like,
Damn.
we should go watch it. We should go watch it.
Wait, is Queer actually in theaters?
Is
I
that-
think so. It might
not
be
around
limited.
this.
It might be limited. I don't know, but
Yeah, not around. There's no way that's around.
I saw a
this.
poster for The Brutalist at Malco though.
okay. I don't really know anything about the director though, so
I mean, I kind of want to.
I might watch it still though.
What
But
about Wicked Guys? Sorry.
but yeah, Challengers. We honestly just we just need more love triangle movies in general. That's like one of the best genres in my opinion, or micro genres, whatever you say it. But yeah, great film.
Right. For my number 2 or tier 2, probably this is one that Blake's probably going to disagree with me on.
Yeah. Oh, is it? I know what it is. All right.
But it's Alien Romulus.
Terrible movie.
Oh.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Should have
this-
been the worst movies.
Okay,
but-
stop.
There's
been
yeah,
far
you
worse.
hate Romulus too, right?
I
He
haven't
hasn't
seen
seen
it,
it.
but
He's
it looked bad.
I thought you hated Romulus.
I-
Or no,
He's
you
just
hate.
he's
no,
an alien hater and
no,
Ridley
he
Scott
was
hater.
hating on Richie for saying he liked it. I remember.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's kind of jumping on Blake's side. But,
As he should.
no.
He's correct.
Regarding this movie, I do kind of understand some of the criticisms where it does try to call back to the originals a little too much. But overall, I just think it's an entertaining and effective, like, space horror movie.
Romulus is a hilarious movie too.
I guess.
I haven't seen. I haven't.
So you actually
Romulus-
like how it connects to the whole tradition of Alien and stuff?
I think that's one of the things that detracts from it. Like, if this was your first Alien movie, I think you would enjoy it more than if you had watched the whole.
One of the
like,
worst
series.
things that
You're kind of
happens-
actually making the argument for why I might like it now.
You might.
Yeah, after all you
I
said
don't
about
think
it,
you will.
man.
Like, you're saying if you don't like the other Alien movies, really? You
No,
might-
it's not
Oh.
that.
It's not that.
It's just like if it's your first Alien movie and you don't know anything about the series, and
If you like
the
video
callbacks
games-
don't really affect your viewing of it, then I think it's entertaining.
So Daniel hated it. Basically.
Well, the
Maybe,
callback
maybe.
is one of the worst things that's happened in cinema. So I mean,
I agree, but
I don't even know what you.
I don't
It's
think
just
it's
a
so
AI
over. I don't
rendition
think
of a
it's
dead
like
man again.
Oh.
But this time it's like talking. They're making him talk and shit.
I don't think
way
it's
worse
such a
than Star
dominant
Wars.
part of the movie that
It's pretty dominant. He's in there for a lot.
There's a lot of action horror though. I feel like it's.
But it's
pretty
also
jam-packed.
way more of a movie or way more of a video game than a movie. So
Personal opinion. I would disagree.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
if that's what you're going for.
There's some good video game movies.
Like what?
Crank.
Wait, that's a video game movie?
It's not a video game.
You know what I mean.
I don't
It's
know
a
what you
video-
mean, actually.
Oh my gosh.
What are you talking
Tron?
about? That's a video game movie, though.
It is.
Literally.
That's a
I'm saying
literal-
the way a movie can feel like more like it feels like a movie.
But is that good though?
Crank, yeah.
But is a video game feeling movie good though?
It can be,
I
yeah.
don't see
I also
A
don't
movie
think
doesn't have to be
especially
anything.
like-
A movie doesn't have to
especially
be
if it's-
anything.
Yeah.
Movie can be
Especially
whatever.
it's like action or horror based.
I also don't feel like Crank feels like a video game, though.
Why not? It literally starts and stops like if like almost. It has like energy. He has like energy bars and stuff. Like, he like powers up.
Stupid.
I'm pretty sure there's even like stuff on the screen.
I don't know. Whenever I say Alien Romulus is a video game movie, it literally makes me think I'm sitting there watching a cutscene. And then the action
Cutscene
happens.
from
And then the
the-
action happens. And then you're at another cutscene. Like, that's how it feels. Like, literally. But
It's like that clip.
I didn't feel that as much.
It's like the clip people
personal-
posting from The
personal
Flash,
opinion.
where it looks like they're going to a cutscene. From
I haven't seen The Flash.
I haven't either. I just saw the clips of it. It was funny. But
The Flash looks like a terrible movie. Danny's
for
watched
sure.
it, though. He said it was good.
No, I didn't.
it's got probably make an argument for it though.
Wait.
What about you, boy?
Yeah, what's your
Oh,
number?
yeah. My number 2, well, technically number 3 is Alienoid Return to the Future. It's a
Wait,
Korean
what?
movie.
Uh-oh.
I randomly discovered like the first movie. Like I saw this one first, and whenever I looked at it, it said it was a sequel to a movie called Alienoid, and I was like, well, what the hell is Alienoid? So I looked up Alienoid, watched that movie, kind of loved it, honestly. It's stupid as hell. And then I watched the sequel, which came out this year. And the sequel doesn't like stick the landing or anything. Like it's not as good as the first one, but the first half of the movie is kind of awesome, and then it kind of becomes like an Avengers movie at the end, which it lost me. But
This guy's second favorite movie of the year. He gave 3.5 stars.
third favorite movie. Trap is my second favorite.
Oh,
I just
I
did Trap.
forgot.
I just
Okay.
did Trap last
See,
time.
he's
because
confusing
it's
me now.
like-
He's
yeah.
confusing me.
But I mean, look at that picture. Look at that guy.
Okay. I don't know what he was trying to
I don't know. The two different. I don't know. I like it. So it's a stupid.
Alright,
It's a stupid
alright.
Korean sci-fi movie. So.
Okay. Alright. Danny?
Alright,
Your number 2?
The other 2 movies on my tier 2 list. Before I get to my number 1, because I guess I do have a number 1, is Aggro Drift and Megalopolis.
Just fine.
Basically, those 4 movies, because like
Okay.
they're all directors I like.
What's Aggro Drift?
Harmony Korine.
The Harmony
Oh,
Korine.
okay.
That's the video game movie too. Like
That's the
those,
video game.
like the one like in Infrared and stuff. But see, the Aggro Drift is more one like I like it, but I respect like just the fact that it kind of exists as a thing. And I actually kind of enjoy watching it, which I can understand why people just hate it, but
Yeah.
I kind of like enjoy the experience of watching it as well. And the Megalopolis, I was kind of just like, it's just an insane movie. So
I do like.
I kind of liked it on rewatch because I saw it multiple twice in theaters, so I liked them on rewatch. And then like all 4 of these movies I picked kind of have like, they're all directors I liked coming into. Okay, except for Luke Flood, but the other 3 were like directors I liked coming into this year. So I'm also kind of picking them just the fact that I got to watch in theaters directors I liked, which is like becoming more and more rare these days. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, all right. Number 1 film of 2024 for me is The Beast, directed by Bertrand Bonello. Is that? I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a French director, though, which I actually haven't even watched anything from him. I want to, which that's gonna be part of my film resolutions. Directors I want to watch next year, and he'll definitely be on it, which we'll talk about later. But The Beast, basically, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like basically about. It's like these 2 parallel stories, or 3 actually. Yeah, like these like 3 parallel stories of like the future, of like it's technically set in. It's like basically parallel lives between these 2 people, which is Lee Se-do and George Mackey, or I think his name's George Mackey. They're the actors in it, and basically it's like, in a way, he's almost like he's kind of drawing comparisons between the 2 because it's basically them two characters connecting in all these timelines basically. And it's super interesting how he's like, it's kind of, in a way I think it's almost like about kind of like the history of human connection in a sense, but viewing that through these 2 people, but also like in a way, it's almost about like how terrifying it is to live in the modern age. At the same time, it's kind of confusing, but it's definitely worth watching. It's very interesting. One of the most interesting movies to come out of recent years, for sure.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, fascinating movie. George McKay. God damn it, it's George McKay. Yeah, he plays it. In one of the times he plays like an incel. It's hilarious. You might have seen like I don't know if you guys have seen the screenshots on Twitter of his character. I forgot what his name was. Goddamn.
I doubt it, honestly. I'm never on Twitter.
Okay. Like god damn, you guys. It's like there's a lot of people memeing it. His character in it. Because I forgot what the name is though. Hold on, let me find it. Damn, it doesn't say on Letterboxd. Okay, never mind. You just trust me on this. Trust me. It's a great film. Great film. Really liked it. Very interesting. Definitely will revisit it in the future. So yeah.
So probably for my favorite movie of the year, or not probably, definitely my favorite movie of the year that I watched was I saw The TV Glow.
Okay. I
need to watch.
I don't think you guys have watched it.
I still need to watch
I need
it.
to
I was
watch
going
it,
to,
yeah.
but I kind of put it off.
Okay. Well, you should definitely watch it. It's from a non-binary director named. Her name is Jane Schoenbrunn, and I think she does like a really, really good job of like the metaphor in this movie, and like from her point of view, and relating that into a way that say like cisgender people may not understand otherwise. Like, makes it really interesting.
That's what.
So it's like a drama horror movie. I wouldn't say it's like horror in terms of like jump scare, but there are some moments in this that are like legitimately terrifying, like existentially to think about. A few scenes in particular that I won't mention because you guys haven't watched it, but definitely recommend it for that reason.
I'll probably watch it like soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I do need to watch this one.
It does look interesting.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that was really good.
My number one is Challengers. Honestly,
Oh, yeah.
should be no surprise. It's quite easily the best movie this year that I've seen. But
I was gonna say, you're gonna declare that?
no, definitely not good. That I've seen for sure though.
Okay.
But because my number one is I think
Wait, let me think of this.
Abiding Nowhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I still haven't
that's
watched
why I was like,
it.
Blake's in it.
Yeah,
What did I
I
say?
still haven't watched it.
Yeah, the new Psy movie. It just
The new Walker series.
from the new Walker series. Yeah. So I feel like it's kind of cheating because it's just like
No, that's not cheating. That's 100%.
No,
counts.
I mean, it came out this
No,
year,
it counts.
so-
It counts.
It counts.
like, why would it not count?
Because it's just like automatically gonna be the best.
It's like not a competition, basically.
But he's based in the U.S. this time. He's in Washington D.C., so it's kind of just interesting, like just knowing more of the actual like monuments and stuff being in the U.S. and like I guess it makes it a little more personal because we're all in the U.S. But
I might have to watch this movie this week.
yeah, plus it has his new actor in it too. Like
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in days.
Anand.
Yeah, Anand. So yeah, Abiding Nowhere.
All right. So now we're gonna get into our top 5 rewatches of the year, since we all kind of rewatch a lot. I would say I feel like more than a lot of cinephiles. We rewatch a lot.
We do.
We understand the importance of rewatching for sure. So let me just start this off with my number 5, which is India Song, directed by Marguerite Duras. And in a way, this is kind of just an excuse to talk about India Song because I still loved it when I watched it. It was like literally December 28th last year. But like it was like just off, so like I technically wasn't a first watch this year. I mean, I could have just like bent the rules, but I was like, why not? Let me just put on my rewatches instead. I also put it on my Letterboxd list for best watches of last year. I put it on there, so I was like, I don't want to manipulate history real quick in terms of this, but yeah, India Song, it's fantastic. It's one of the most unique movies I've seen, or at least just Marguerite Duras is just a very unique director because her style involves voice-over narration of present moment characters recalling a past event, but also then the camera is showing a past event in fragmented form in a sense. It's almost like she's almost like combining past and present with merging words and images, basically. at the same time. Basically, it's super unique, as I'm saying. Like, and this song, this is such a fantastic film showing that, because like it's about this like I guess she's some kind of like elite person of power. Like I think she's the wife of an ambassador in some foreign country. And it's basically just the film about just like her being confined to this house basically, and like the affairs she goes to, but in such a like a non-linear form that just comes like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable just filmmaking that I highly recommend. Especially, I think Danny would really like it. I do think Danny would really like it, but he still hasn't watched it. So add Marguerite Duras to your resolutions, Danny. You know, at least India Song maybe.
No, I need to watch it.
I think you'd really like it. I think you'd really like it because she was the screenwriter for Hiroshima Mon Amour. So if you think about the opening sequence of Hiroshima Mon Amour, that's probably the closest I could say. Like, her style is kind of similar to that in a sense. Obviously, it's a bit different, but
I mean, that's the best part for us.
She was a big writer too. Are you gonna
oh yeah. Maybe.
This guy's like, oh, I still. You're like, oh yeah, oh.
Maybe. Maybe we'll get there. But yeah, India Song, highly recommend. Fantastic film.
Okay, so probably my fifth favorite rewatch from this year was Videodrome.
Ooh.
I went through Cronenberg's filmography.
I actually have to add one on here now that you mentioned Cronenberg. I forgot that I watched this movie because I haven't logged it yet. I've been slacking.
Yes, you have.
It's Cronenberg. Have you saw Log Crimes of the Future, by the way?
I haven't. Dang.
This guy forgot to log Crimes of the Future, and we did it like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But no, I went through Cronenberg's filmography around Halloween time also. I think originally I gave this movie like a 3.5, but this time I gave it a 4.5, so I definitely liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
I love Videodrome.
Yeah.
I love Cronenberg also. I guess since I'll just stay on Cronenberg because you mentioning that actually did bring up one that I did rewatch and did love actually, and it's Naked Lunch.
Oh wow!
I rewatched it. I loved it, man.
Nice. I still need to rewatch that one.
It's like I feel like I understood more of what he was trying to do at this time.
Yeah.
Because I was also more on his wavelength and how he likes to just fuck with how you perceive your body or how you perceive the world around you, especially.
You have to get used to how Cronenberg's like body horror before you like really understand it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's going to be really distracting.
And Naked Lunch is also just... I think it's Ed Harris is the main actor, and it's almost like his descent into a complete and utter madness, basically thinking that this alien race is about to take over the world, and it's kind of shown like you don't really know if it's real or not the entire time, because it's like the only way that you even know that this thing exists is like these people are taking like bug powder or some shit, and that's what makes them see this shit. It's insane. But and then you just have like this guy Ben Way is
I've
an
seen the header on
amazing,
their
like,
box.
he's
It looks
classic
intriguing.
line.
It looks intriguing.
It's crazy, but it's awesome. I loved it. So
Definitely a prime Blake movie.
it is.
Yeah. All right, Danny. Why are you laughing, bro?
Because this is where I think I almost rewatched more movies than I had new watches this year.
Yeah.
Which was pretty close.
Crazy.
But that's why, because I love rewatching movies. But I rewatch them for for slightly different reasons. So, first I have 5 movies.
Okay.
But then I have 3 other movies that I would have picked, but they're like almost too obvious because I watch them just because like I would watch them every year almost.
Yeah.
Mind of Clay,
Yeah.
Playtime,
Okay. Yeah.
and If I Had 4 Dromedaries or Camels.
Yeah.
I've seen those so many times. Like those for me are like reasons why you should rewatch them, just because I love them so much. But then I have 5 others so my first one, Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
The animated one?
Yeah.
Because I think I'd watched it a few years ago, but then I rewatched this for some reason. And it's like, because we had talked about it for, on Celine and Julie Go Boating.
Yes.
Because we talked about how much he liked the story. But I love the Disney version too, it's so good. We kind of talked about this with Paprika too, but animation allows you to go fantastical and I don't know, it still makes it more believable than sometimes a lot of just like real life where it's like just feels fake. You know, animation just feels more real when you can just like create fake worlds, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alice in Wonderland does a great job of that. You know, just like it's almost like so casual how it just like enters you in another world. I kind of love that because that's what films can do, just in general. I think like Disney understood, or at least Walt Disney understood that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alice in Wonderland. That's my first pick.
Still need to watch that one. Haven't seen.
I need to read the story though too.
I need to read the story. Have you seen the Tim Burton one?
No.
That's the only one I've seen.
No, I haven't. Damn.
It's not good.
No, I haven't seen that. I need to watch that though. I don't. Yeah.
Damn. All right, so my number 4 is Yugetsu, directed by Kenji Mizoguchi. It's a film I already liked, because I watched it a few years ago. Because it's like one of those classic your first watching Japanese cinema. Like this is like one of the ones people tell you to watch. But I didn't fully appreciate it then, and so rewatching it this year, it made me realize holy shit, there's a reason why people regard it as a class, one of the first movies you should watch. Although maybe I wouldn't say it's one of the first movies you should watch if you're although it is accessible enough. I feel
it is very accessible. It was one of the first I watched.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable, especially the way he portrays greed is almost the way. Well, first of all, it's Kenji Mizoguchi, so the way he shoots nature in the film is just so terrifying. But then also combining that with these two tales of greed, which are thing is with Mizoguchi is I would argue what he's trying to tell you are very simple, but the way he portrays it makes it not seem that way. So the way he portrays this very simple idea of what is what greed does to you, and the way he portrays that is amazing. These creepy Japanese ghost stories. Well, one of them's a ghost story. The other one's kind of just a depressing guy wanting to be a samurai basically but
isn't that also part of the ghost story though?
No, they're separate.
I thought it was
because the guy wants to be a samurai, but then he abandons his wife, and then she becomes a prostitute, and then he comes face to face with her.
I thought that was the same samurai though that found the woman in the woods.
No, those are different guys. Because there's 2 guys at the start.
Okay.
And the other guy bans his wife to go with that girl, but then I don't want to spoil the movie. I've already have low key, but okay, but I mean
it's fine. It only came out 50 years ago. It's okay.
I hate when people say that though, low key, about some movies. A lot of movies.
I mean,
because but it's still new. It's still gonna be new to someone though.
Yes, but 2 things. First of all, if someone's listening and they haven't seen it, they're most likely going to forget when they do watch it.
True.
And spoilers shouldn't ruin movies.
Second thing,
that I agree with, but people do get mad about them. That's the only thing.
Well, second thing, we spoil everything we talk about in this.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you don't know already, yeah. But so you get it.
Right.
Amazing movie.
Probably my 4th favorite rewatch from this year is Mishima.
Okay.
I have a bad habit of this, but I sometimes fall asleep while I'm watching movies.
And
that was the case.
Happens to the best of them.
Yeah, that was the case the first time I had watched Mishima, but rewatching it this year in its entirety, I'll say it's one of the best type of biographies of an artist's life, especially in the way it incorporates his work.
Yes.
And into what it says about the artist as a person, and in correlation to their life.
Especially with a complicated person like Mishima, who literally was a
Definitely.
far right guy.
No, so I definitely think the movie does a good job of portraying that.
Honestly,
sure.
It does. The craziest thing is that it's directed by a white man.
Paul Schrader.
Honestly,
I think it's insane.
Yeah, one of Schrader's best for sure.
It is.
I mean, it is.
It is his best in my
I think we're all Mishima heads on this podcast.
We haven't seen O Canada yet, though.
Oh shit! Wait, has that come out yet?
Came out in Canada.
Festival has come out.
Fuck no.
It's like a festival movie.
I need that.
Yes.
No, this is most similar one. I'm pretty sure you said it's his film that's most similar to
Yes, he
Mishima.
did. Yeah. So.
Damn, we thought we both recommend the same thing. All right.
My number 4 is one that we did on the podcast, actually, Night of the Hunter. Which, I mean, I feel like this is obvious because I kind of explained why on the podcast. Or not, I explained why I might not have liked it before because I don't really remember why I didn't, honestly. But I definitely explained why I loved it on that podcast. It is a fucking amazing movie, man. I can't believe I didn't like it the first time, or didn't love it immediately, almost the first time.
It's unbelievable.
I think it might have honestly just been like it was one of the first black and white movies I had watched.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
That makes sense actually. Yeah.
Like you don't really, I don't know.
It's also like people, yeah, like it's not like a traditional horror movie, at least
It's not.
to modern day standards. Like if you're going expecting like a modern style horror movie,
Well, once I definitely thought of it as a fairy tale, it definitely
yeah.
the horror came out more in that
like gothic
way.
fairy tale,
Yeah.
for sure. So,
Okay, my next pick. Another movie, like another reason I like rewatching movies is like if you haven't watched them in a couple of years or just something that's been on your mind and you have to rewatch them. You have just like some feeling that you have to rewatch it. So New Rose Hotel was like that.
Ooh.
Where I also liked it a couple of years ago when I really liked it, but then rewatching it this year is like kind of confirmed that belief of. Because I love like especially coming back after you've watched more directors and then you're coming back to another film to, like from a new perspective way.
Yes.
And like you really notice like the formal aspects of it of like
Especially
like,
in
like
New Rose
using the
Hotel.
video like the kind of like low aesthetic video to like actually enhance the sci-fi aspects of it and stuff like that. Just
Unbelievable.
so good.
I love Will Ferrell.
The what? Oh yes.
See, I kind of started getting into him this year.
But it's also like I also like I love him too. I need to watch him more. Like I need, especially some of the later ones.
If you like New Rose Hotel, you'll like most of his movies.
No, I've
for sure.
seen. I don't know how many I've seen.
Yeah.
But
He just strikes a certain like feeling or like emotion. It's very vivid
yes,
when you watch his
yes.
movies.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, especially like William Dafoe, especially like on
yeah.
season.
Yeah.
But like Christopher Walken's so funny, and
Oh my god.
I mean, Christopher Walken and Lawrence Fishburne, King of New York, are two of my favorite.
That's a great movie.
See, I think I like this one more, but I
Oh,
also
dude,
like King of
okay.
War.
I haven't seen. I still need to watch New Rose Hotel. That's one of the ones I haven't seen.
But we'll come back to it later in the pod.
I thought so.
Teen
It's
Rose
definitely
Hotel.
gotta be director feature.
If someone has Mary and can send me that, I still need to watch that.
Which one?
Mary.
Mary.
I
The
don't know.
Jesus
if I have
movie?
that.
Oh, I have it not.
I really need to
The one
watch
about the
that.
nun, or like
Someone
is it
watch
different
this.
ones?
No, it's called the film. It's called the Filming movie about Jesus' death
Yeah, this one.
that affects 3 people.
Okay, no, I have seen this one before on Letterboxd, and I don't think I have it downloaded. So
I also need to watch the one with Shia LaBeouf. It came out in
wait, his
2022.
damn, wait for real?
Oh, is that the Padre Pio or Pio?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And then I know Lucasine Pasolini, but I've actually
Pasolini is
I haven't
great.
seen Pasolini.
That's actually a good.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
That's actually a good
that's-
comparison to Mishima. I think that would be a great double feature,
Okay.
and the way it incorporates the artist's works
Yeah.
into their like biography.
Okay.
No, now that I've seen some of Pasolini's movies too, I need to watch that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My number 3 now is Celine and Julie Go Boating, directed by Jacques Rivette. Jacques Rivette, one of the premier directors I got into this year, I would say. As you'll probably see with my top 10 first watches, he has a movie in there, very high. But Celine and Julie Go Boating, we actually did on the podcast 2 years ago. And I liked it then, but like it was just too early for me to watch Rivette. Like Rivette's definitely like he takes a lot of buy-in. He's not like someone I would really like recommend to someone just getting into like the French New Wave. Like I would save him for after you like watch some Godard, Truffaut, Romer. Like he's one of the later ones you should get into. And this film's just unbelievable. It's kind of self-explanatory, but it's like, and I've talked about it kind of recently. I think I've talked about it like a few times recently in past episodes, but like just the idea of almost like the two girls, basically Celine and Julie, basically like taking control of this like ultimate reality, kind of like melodrama, murder mystery melodrama, but in a sense like how that says about like how we kind of like how we can in a sense manipulate and kind of take art as our own and kind of manipulate it to our own being. How we do that with like movies all the time. Like he's kind of like making a movie of that, but it's also just like so much fun to watch too. So yeah, one of the most fascinating formal achievements, and just achievements in general. It's unbelievable. But yeah, just enjoy the movie.
Okay. For my next pick, I'm gonna go with Collateral by Michael Mann. And I think the first time I watched it, I gave it like 4 stars. I liked it. I didn't necessarily love it, but this time I watched it, it's like a perfect movie to me. Michael Mann's like just such a master, especially in like editing, and I hate to use the word like meditative because it's such like overused, but even like a primarily action director like Michael Mann, like he does such a good job of finding those like meditative moments in his movies.
How Hawksian of him.
Like,
no, he's,
like,
he's better than a Hawks.
Especially in the last scene with like Tom Cruise, sitting on the subway and calling back to a line he had said earlier in the movie.
Yes.
One of the great moments.
Also, some great shots of just the driving in the city at night. That's where like goes with meditative. It's like he actually takes time with the filmmaking to like some people just call it boring, but they're just so good at just like the long like with the music and stuff, and you're like watching these long shots of LA at night.
Or like the scene where he like has this whole conversation with this jazz musician. Like a lesser director would definitely.
But that's one of the funniest parts.
It's a great
too.
scene.
It's a great scene because it actually does trick you at the end. He gets you like he lulls you and then he still kills him.
No, it does a great job of like showing Tom Cruise's like psyche, his character's psyche, as like a killer, even though he's like able to make such like a close connection over this shared interest with this musician, but still able to just kill him in like cold blood. It's a great movie though.
I mean, speaking of Miles Davis, they're talking about Miles Davis scene. I listened to Bitches Brew for the first time this year.
Oh, Bitches Brew is so
unbelievable. Figure out throw that
That's
out there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
See that?
We're not allowed to talk about other media, Luke.
I just know days I would be like, oh, there's some paintings. There's some paintings I like this year.
We'll have other media coming up. So.
Oh, goddamn.
Bitches Brew is amazing.
Yeah, I watched that. Do you like My Advice though?
Not
Advice.
My Advice.
Oh, I need to rewatch that one actually.
I rewatched that one this year, which I mean I loved it. I of course like already loved it, but like it's just it got even better.
That one I think I would like more. Watch
so
for sure.
So good. Are you a fiend for mojitos?
Definitely.
Anyway, Blake.
My number 3 is Starship Troopers. Rewatched this for the first time, and like Danny, I also made Danny watch this for the first time this year. But I rewatched it for the first time in probably 3 years, and already I already liked this movie a lot the first time I watched it. But the second time, I literally think this is one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made, man. Like I really do. But it's also just a great piece of anti-American propaganda at the end of the day. It's pretty amazing.
I don't think I've seen any Paul Verhoeven.
Verhoeven. He's Dutch.
It's kind of funny.
My next one, Letter from an Unknown Woman.
Okay.
Opals. Because the other Opals I like loved is Le Plaisir and L'Ronde. L'Ronde. But this one, like, I had liked, but coming back to rewatch, it was like, okay, yeah, it's basically the same tier.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. Like, we've already talked about it multiple times. Like, we haven't talked about it, reviewed it, but we've mentioned it on so many lists, I feel like, and stuff.
Maybe the other ones I feel like we mentioned more. You might be confusing them.
Either way, Opals we'll have to do at some point. Yeah. We haven't done a movie of his yet, but for how much I love him.
Yeah.
But this one, like it had the rewatch quality of it improved when I rewatched it. So I had like some inkling that maybe I should rewatch it, and then it got better. Like the whole like flashback kind of framing of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how to, like, he's such a, like, Opals is kind of like a cynical romantic. That's how I have to describe him.
Yeah.
In a way.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
But
definitely.
There is, there's another movie I'm going to talk about next, too. It's kind of similar, but I guess I don't have too much to say about it for now. We'll probably review it at some point.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
My number 2 is His Girl Friday, directed by Howard Hawks. This one I actually thought was mid the first time I watched it, but I also attribute that to me not being really into Hawks at the time that I watched it, and then also I like screwball comedies a lot more. It took me a while to like really get into them, but now I love screwball comedies. And I mean, this one isn't like the peak of the genre, really. Let's be real. I think I briefly talked about this last week because I talked about the duo in this movie. That's like one of my favorites. But yeah, it's like. Because it's about this like newspaper man, played by Cary Grant, who basically he has this wife who divorced him, who used to work for him as well, and so basically she's coming back with her new boyfriend, and he's like kind of seizing the opportunity to kind of like get her back, both as like as a partner, but also like within like as a professional too, like get her expertise at like newspaper reporting, and like just like all this the film is just like it's so cynical about newspaper people, it's amazing. Like the lengths he'll go to manipulate reality just to get her back to him. It's just like it's just a movie of repeating variations of that, and it's all I need really. It has that Hawksian magic, you know. So I had to put that on here.
I remember liking His Girl Friday.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Danny's awfully quiet.
It's
But that's
been a
fine.
while
That's fine.
since
That's
I've
fine.
seen
It's been a while.
He's
since-
on nowhere. He's on nowhere. He's on Hawks nowhere.
I've seen it.
Anyway, Dustin.
So for my top 2 rewatches are both going to be movies I'm glad to say I was wrong about on the first watch.
Okay.
And the first of those is going to be Stanley Kubrick's The Killing.
Oh, let's
We
go.
watched this a few weeks ago,
Yes.
like as a group. I will say if you've watched most of Stanley Kubrick's movies, this one kind of sticks out. Which is why I think I didn't necessarily like it or connect with it as much the first time, because it, as one of his earlier movies, he does use a lot more narration than he does in pretty much any of his other films.
Yeah.
But I think it really works in this movie. It kind of plays like the whole movie plays like as a police report almost.
Yeah.
Or
True.
it has a similar quality to it, although I like this movie a little better to like Kurosawa's like how High and Low, I think, in some ways. But I was just a lot more interested in it this time, and yeah, I liked it a lot more for sure.
The Killing is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially because there's another movie I almost had that I didn't pick, Full Metal Jacket's the one I
Okay.
rewatched. But because both of them, like, the more you rewatch a Kubrick movie, because you always think he's always talked about as like super serious director and stuff.
Yeah.
But really, his movies are like super funny.
Yeah. No,
And that's
The
like the
Killing
more
is
you watch
funny.
The Killing is
Yeah.
like
especially
you're
the
actually
ending.
not.
It's like, oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you're not.
It's kinda funny.
That's the ending is like you're not supposed to identify with him.
No.
And so that's what makes it different than like a normal heist
No.
movie where like he's trying to tease you in a way, but if you're really watching it, you're like you're not supposed to like any of these guys. Really.
Bear Lynn is also the big one where it's like I basically
Yes.
view that as a
Yes.
comedy, just straight comedy.
That was
Like,
so funny.
Well, that's the thing. All of his movies are comedy. That's where like
But Bear
the
Lynn's
more you
definitely-
rewatch them, like
Mhm.
Full Metal Jacket's like super funny.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, like,
It's hilarious.
they have,
Eyes
like,
Wide
more
Shut's
serious
really
things.
fun. Eyes Wide Shut's really
yeah,
funny.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you consider 2001 funny, or like in general?
That one not as much. I don't think. Maybe some
2001
parts with Hal.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh,
Hal's
Actually, that's the only one.
Yeah, how's a
It's
how's a
kind of-
sassy bitch, bro?
No,
Like,
it's kind of
uh,
funny that he's like the most human character in 2001.
Yes,
It's part of the
yes.
point of the movie, though. I think.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, but that's the only one. Maybe not. But you could say the guy's face when he's like tripping is kind of funny.
Okay, I agree with.
No, but the
Star
Killing
Baby,
though, it's
Star
like
Baby.
just to,
The Star Baby is
because you
funny.
really have to accept the premise of like Kubrick is kind of cynical about the world. So if you are kind of more like romantic, or if you want a happy ending, you're gonna not like it.
Yeah.
But like that's the whole point of the movie is like he does all this work and it's just like for nothing, you know.
Yeah,
Like he's trying to plan every detail, and then at the end,
Yeah.
just like suitcase breaks, and it's
It's like all for
a-
nothing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then there's like the Russian guy who's like really good at chess. Who apparently was like a real
He's also-
bodybuilder or something.
Yeah. He's like the meathead of the group.
Yeah, but he's the
But
meathead, but he's also like the
chess
smartest
player.
one.
Yeah.
I have it in my letterbox, like the quote that he says. He says like this long ass quote that's like really intellectual, and then like Johnny, the main character, he just says something. He's like, yeah, but that's like it's like a cup of tea, and he's like, oh, you'll never understand. I was like, yeah, you don't understand. He's like, you gotta understand. So fun. Great movie.
It's a great movie. Just like my number 2 movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh damn! Actually, I should have.
I mean,
that.
this
Oh
one-
shit! Yeah, I didn't
forgot
put this
about
on.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't know how I skipped that.
This is my. This is a very honorable mention because it probably should have been on my list.
It should have been on mine.
I mean, we all talked about this very recently. How we all did. We weren't very enthusiastic about it whenever we first watched it.
Yeah,
But whenever
we
you
all got
watched it,
proven
yeah,
wrong. Basically.
we all got proven wrong. It's
very much so.
It's a masterpiece, man. It's a work of art, as Toby Hooper says.
Damn. All right, Danny.
My number 2. This one was also rewatched. Like it was for my own inkling, but also because like we have a couple of haters of it on this podcast, so I need to make sure I was right. Countess from Hong Kong.
I'm not a hater.
We're not haters.
Chaplin's last movie
I'm just
and his
lazy.
last.
I've been saying I want to rewatch this for like a year.
No,
or
you're
two.
haters. Let's go. Check
We're
the
not
ratings.
haters.
We'll check the ratings.
Okay, but my rating is relevant at this point because that was a long time ago.
But
I think I would like it a lot more now.
It's lower tier Chaplin.
no,
He's
That's
adamant.
hating.
He's adamant in his
Pure
ways.
hating.
I'm not him.
Especially since like the soundtrack alone is like one of his best. So I don't know how you could hate on it just for that.
But see, is it? Though?
It is. It's literally one of his best.
But he added soundtracks to all of his silent ones too. And
That's
they're
what I'm saying.
amazing, too.
I'm considering all those. It's literally
And
one of
Limelights
his
is his
best.
best anyway.
And then like it's also his most like fun, subtle movie in a way. Like it's almost like so free flowing, just easy to watch. It's like Chaplin having fun with his family in a way, making the movie.
It's definitely not easier to watch than City Lights or Modern Times.
It is. In a certain way, it is. Like, just like how relaxed it is. Like, those are like perfectly formal movies, you know? But this one's a little more relaxed in how it tells the story. Like, he's not as concerned with making every detail perfect like you tell like the young Chaplin was, where he's like obsessed with, obviously like we talked about that series, like all of his sets and everything. He's a perfectionist. And this one, he seems a little more loose. Like, I don't even know if Brando knows what's going on half the time. But,
He probably doesn't.
But no, it's just such a fun, like, sweet movie, and I don't know, especially after Limelight, such like a grand romantic movie. This one, it's almost like the opposite in a way.
Do you like this more than Limelight?
I like them for different reasons.
That wasn't a
That's
great answer.
insane.
I like them both the same. Probably.
That's insane.
Ooh,
They're the same
Blake,
tier,
what do you
they're the
think
same
about
tier.
that?
That's
That's not
certifiably
insane.
insane.
You need to watch. You're hating on content.
Damn.
Way too much.
He's
It's
hating.
crazy.
How long has it been since you rewatched Limelight?
I mean, I've rewatched it a few times. They're the same tier. I'm not the one hating on Limelight. You're the one hating on Captain from Hong Kong. You're the one who needs to explain yourself.
Damn.
Saying Chaplin made had a low tier movie. That's crazy.
Freaking Chaplin's last, or one of his greatest movie.
Not his last movie.
Not his last movie that he
Not
was
his
in, but his greatest
greatest
movie is in the same tier as the one that he's not even in.
You need to rewatch Captain from
I
Hong
do
Kong,
need to
man.
rewatch it.
You'll like it.
He's hating.
But I feel like you're saying this just because of the score. Like you like the
No,
score.
the movie's great.
Dan, now being
The
moved
movie's
by
great.
score?
And Chaplin's barely in it too. It's like it's like a return to the Woman of Paris.
A Woman of Paris.
Yeah, Woman of Paris. Where Chaplin's
See, that one's also
no.
better than Cast from Hong Kong.
No, I mean maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's my number 2.
My number 1, Daisy be hyped about this because you're just talking about Letter from an Unknown Woman, and my number 1 is Late Police Theater.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, this after rewatching this because I liked it the first time, but after rewatching this is definitely like top tier Max Ophuls along with Letter from an Unknown Woman for me. Although I should rewatch Laurent, but I also need to watch a lot of his other movies because like I like barely still have seen a lot of his. But Late Police Theater, like the best way I could like describe this movie because it's more of like a vignette style movie. Richie's coughing a lot. It's more of like a vignette. Like there's like 3 stories, and it's kind of vague. I would say maybe the meaning, but like how I kind of read it is just more like it's kind of just like remind you of like the pleasure of like existing, but not like in like a super, but in like in a cynical kind of way. Like he's not like shying away from like the bad parts of it, but he understands like that's kind of like what drives people. Yes, what makes life pleasurable in a sense.
Or people, not even yes, that part, but also people searching for pleasure.
Sure. Yes.
This kind of search for it.
Okay. Yeah. Because the movie's called The Pleasures.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which is great title. But
Yes.
and
Just that way his camera moves from story to story.
It's
like,
unbelievable.
That idea of like
yeah.
the movie's following the idea, not necessarily any
Yeah.
characters.
So many great moments too, for sure. Like the whole opening moments of the guy dancing.
Oh,
And then like
oh my gosh,
and then the
those-
one guy like running after the train and like walking home
Yeah.
really sad like oh my god. Yeah, it's definitely a movie like it's definitely a movie I want to come back to a lot for sure. So yeah, that's my number 1.
Okay. So for my number 1, as I mentioned, my last pick is a movie I'm most glad to have been wrong about the first time, and that's Alfred Hitchcock's Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo.
Okay.
Okay.
The first time I watched
We're just
this,
making fun of
I
you
don't-
for this, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I can redeem myself now.
Yes, okay.
Now you're the one we need to make fun
Yeah.
of the rope.
Yep. We'll get you too. We'll get you too,
come on,
bitch.
come
On the
on.
Coward Sport
Talk about the
podcast.
Coward Sport.
Yeah.
on the Coward Sport.
We'll get
It's
you.
a pretty good movie.
I got something
it's
for
a
you
pretty
later.
solid.
Okay.
Yeah, I got something for you later, bitch.
It's a solid movie, guys.
But no.
It's a good movie.
But the first time I watched this was like 2018, so like 6 years ago. I don't know what the fuck I was on.
You said the third act was bad, right? Too.
I did leave up my original review just to
posterity.
remember what I was on.
See, that's
From at
braver
the
than
time.
some people here.
That's true. That's
Yeah, I
very
wonder
true. But I understood where I was coming from at the time, but I was wrong for sure. Because I think I just felt like the third act got a little repetitive because of the lengths that James Stewart's character went to like
recreate
recreate
Yeah.
Kim Novak's character from earlier in the movie, obviously.
Like-
But I realize now it was kind of like a necessity of the movie. Obviously, as like a detective, he had to be sure that.
Well, also kind of like exposes him as like being like a bad guy, basically.
Yeah.
Like at the point you're like, wait, like because like when you're watching the movie, and like for all the other parts, like you're kind of with him the whole
Yeah.
time. You know, you're sympathetic towards him, and then he like starts getting really weird, like that like kind of last third, and you're like, wait, hold on, something's up with this dude. Like,
yeah, it's very much about
It's a little weird.
Yeah, his obsession with her.
yeah.
And of course, the ending is like one of the best
It is
like of all time.
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So yeah, great movie. I'm really glad to have liked it a lot more this time.
Escape the Cowards. Actually, it was like 3.5. Wasn't
I
it?
did. Your turn's next. Yeah, not Cowards. Not
I was
Cowards.
gonna say
But I actually
Cowards
gave it a
4.
rating that I believed in at the time. But no, can't say the
You
same for
admitted
you.
it. You admitted it.
Can't say for the same as you with Rope though, bitch.
Rope's just accurate, bro. I don't know. It's like,
No, that's a Cowards 4 if there ever was
Stop taking
one.
alcohols. You're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it.
Yeah.
all right.
Like,
All right, my number one is actually Violent Cop, which we are going to get
Okay,
to
yes.
soon. But I will say it's just because I love what Takeshi. Like, it starts Takeshi Kitano's career with a literal bang.
Yes.
And I'm not even watching it from, like, Danny's double point of view, which I'm going to be excited to this next time that I watch it.
A great duo film.
Because I'm more so looking at it as, like, the death of Beat Takeshi almost.
Oh,
Like it
yeah.
because, and we'll talk about that more obviously because it's very interesting how Kitano directs himself too. Like I love everything about this movie. Honestly, it's awesome. But I love everything about Kitano also. He's also going to be on the next segment. So I could have put him as just the number one for my rewatches as well as just Kitano. But
No, like one of mine was gonna be Kid's Return. Like it would be up there, but I know we're gonna talk about that soon coming up. So that was a great rewatch for me. But my number one is I watched this movie first in 2017, and then I actually rewatched it last year, and I came back and loved it. But we got to watch it in theaters, Rear Window.
Okay, yeah.
So we got to go another Hitchcock.
I thought this almost made my list.
No, it is
you
just
guys
like,
saw it in theaters too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's why
Yes,
partly
sir.
why it's number one too.
And
'cause
Blake
I got
wasn't
to see it in
there.
theaters.
Sadly.
Yes,
Had to
sir.
work.
I was going. Which is funny because we went to Kansas City originally to watch Lay Samurai.
Yeah, and we were
And
just
then,
like, why not? Let's
well,
go
then
see
we
this.
saw while we were there. It's like, oh, Rear Window's playing.
No, you were like, let's look at some other theaters, see
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they're playing anything interesting, and then we just like saw Rear Window.
And we got to see a much better film.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
It is.
That's not. But they're
So
good.
that's
They're both
another reason I have to
amazing.
pick it because it's kind of saved our weekend too.
Okay, come on.
This is good.
No, okay. Lay Samurai's good too, but
Yeah,
Just
the whole,
watching
like,
Rear
Some would say it's a
Window-
masterpiece.
just watching Rear Window in a theater, like when you see like all the window, like people
Oh.
working in the windows and stuff, and
Yeah.
the camera slowly like going across all the. It's just so good.
the red blimp of the cigarette.
Yeah. And then watching like Jimmy Stewart's like dumbass like
Yeah.
and like Grace Kelly's like hitting on him. It's-
No, like have you seen the meme? It's like Grace Kelly and Jimmy Stewart's like, babe, please
Yeah,
have
no.
sex with me. I'm so horny. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
now, wait a minute.
Like that's a murder.
There's a murder. I think there's a murder.
that's a great meme.
But like, I still even remember like this was one of the first movies because I watched in like 2017, like when I first started watching movies really seriously, of like that idea of like it's a movie about watching movies too. You know, like how you get sucked into a story, like you want it to be true. Like Hitchcock's kind of even fucking like he understood that more than anyone. You know, like the master of suspense of like.
Yeah.
An audience wants to be tricked. You know, they're like
Yeah.
begging to be tricked. You just have to like give them some reasons, some clues or whatever. You know.
Yes.
And then like just like Jimmy Stewart's like voice is perfect for it. He like barely moves the whole movie.
It's unbelievable.
Like,
Just his face the whole time is amazing.
like how much nothing happens in the movie too. It's just so exciting.
Oh man, yeah, it's thrilling.
Yeah, but everyone know my favorite.
Okay.
Probably my favorite Hitchcock. So even though Vertigo's up there,
It's
and
between
Rope-
Rear Window and
Rope,
Vertigo,
too.
probably for me.
Those three are my favorites.
So, yeah. So that's rewatches. Do we want to take a break? Or?
Yeah, let's
take a
Okay.
break.
So we'll take a break before we get into the rest of what we're going to talk about. And we're back to discuss our top 10 first watches of the year. So, I guess we can just go ahead and get into it. I'll start. My number 10 is a movie that I'm pretty sure only Danny has seen out of all of you. It is They All Laughed, directed by Peter Bogdanovich. It's basically it's about these this private investigator agency in New York, who basically it's basically like they get paid to shadow. Well, first of all, it's two separate kind of like they're part of the same agency, but it's like two separate kind of like parallel storylines where these two guys, agents, basically trail this girl, and this one guy, played by Ben Gazzara, by the way, trails this older woman who's played by Audrey Hepburn. And in a way, it's almost like I saw someone describe this as like it's the closest an American film has gone to Jacques Demy, and I agree completely in the way like how in a sense like it's almost like it's almost just like bodies revolving around this like around New York, basically looking for their ideal match in a sense. It's like this mismatch of sorts that kind of like happens within the confines of a basically tailing a person, like a private investigator and tailing someone, and then in a way falling in love with them. You can probably draw some like Vertigo connections too in that sense, but yeah, it's about like in a way it's almost kind of also about like watching movies in a sense like falling in love with movies and characters in movies, because in a sense also the big part of the movie is kind of like it's only like it doesn't last basically this love or fascination you could say, but yeah they all I know you watched it I think you liked it too because I showed it to you. Yeah. Not a lot to say.
which one was it? I'm sorry.
I
I still don't have my 10. I'm gonna be honest. I was still deciding.
They All Laughed. I don't think
I've seen it.
I showed it to you, bro. Peter
Oh,
Bogdanovich-
the Bob. Okay, yes.
Yeah. You liked it,
No,
right?
never mind. I did like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. You went on to the planet right there.
No, I had to. You made me come clean. I'm trying to organize, like, okay, because I just had a bunch of movies highlighted. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to have 10 or 10-ish.
Well, we can go this way to get around you need more time.
I basically have it.
Okay.
That's what we have.
So yeah.
It's also because like it's only Bogdanovich movie I've seen,
Okay.
and I hate like only seeing one movie from a director and having thoughts. Like,
Have you not seen Peter Moon?
no.
Okay.
Actually, I have seen Other Side of the Wind. I don't know if that counts.
That's Orson Welles' film.
But like he's the one that basically re-edited it and stuff.
I think he had some part of it. I actually still haven't seen the movie, which is probably bad. It's like a
Big
Wells film.
fan.
But well, it's because there's still other Wells films I need to watch, and I want to save that for last. So yeah. Well, we can go with Dustin now.
All right. My pick is going to be Chuck Russell's The Blob, which is the 1988 remake of I think the original was from 1958. But it's a good movie. It's pretty funny. It's basically about this like gelatinous alien life form that like engulfs whatever it touches. So it like slowly starts taking over this whole town, like over the span of a night. And parts of it are really funny, and parts of it, it's actually just a well-made movie overall, I would say. But yeah, I would recommend that one for sure.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I like The Blob a lot. It's I like the practical effects are insane in that
Yeah.
movie, man.
Really good.
Yeah, the Cowards 4.
Well, I think my review of it honestly sums up my point, because I think it's just so fucking stupid that you make a biological weapon that dies for use against the Russians specifically, that dies when it gets too cold.
That's
So
hilarious.
I mean, spoilers, but hey, be prepared for that I guess in the segment. So, but no, I do like The Blob a lot. Good movie. My number 10 is King Hu's Raining in the Mountain.
Okay.
Has seen it before. It's literally a Buddhist heist film. I loved it, man. It's also what King Hu always seems to do, which I hadn't realized before this year, and after watching Fate of Lee Khan, I realized that most of King Hu's movies were set in one location.
Yeah. Or very few.
Or very,
locations.
very,
Yeah.
very few locations. And it's usually like those very few locations are like maybe like a mile away from the actual location.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's basically
yeah.
the same.
Pretty much.
But this one literally does take place all in this one Buddhist temple, and it's literally just a parable about how like materialism is bad, and I love it. So,
I just
but
wanna,
set like a heist film.
Okay, yeah. I just want to point out another year, and another year's gone by,
Hey.
and Blake has still not rewatched
Hey.
Legend of the Mountain, even though
I planned on it.
Oh
and it
my
happened.
gosh!
Yeah,
So let's set the plan and follow that. Then
I have it on Blu-ray now. So
Literally,
it's
this
gonna
is-
happen soon. It's gonna happen by next
you
year.
don't understand how much you're gonna realize why your 4-star rating for it doesn't make sense for yourself when you rewatch it. Does that
You're
make
probably
sense?
very right.
Like it's just such a Blake film. It's unbelievable. Like in a good way though. In a
No,
good-
no,
I'm not saying that's like a derogatory term.
For that.
Like you have to love it. Like it's everything you like love in movies. I feel like
What if I hate it?
that's not gonna happen.
It's possible.
It's
Never.
not. It's not gonna happen.
It can't. It's impossible. But
And the funny thing is, the only reason I even watched Ring in the Mountain was because I thought it was Legend of the Mountain. So,
damn, that's hilarious. Actually, damn.
and then I realized it wasn't obviously.
And then you still didn't. So you still didn't go
And I
rewatch
still-
it. Then
that is
come
rewatch
on,
it.
Blake. God.
I had my 3-hour King Hu movie out of the way for the year. You know,
Legend. Okay, Rain in the Mountain's not 3 hours though.
it's 250, I think.
No.
Or is it only 2 hours?
It's only 2
it might
hours.
it might be.
I'm
as a
pretty
2
sure it's
hour
only 2
movie.
hours. See, this is the wise guy. This guy was low-key happy that he fucking messed it up. Wait, let me.
I did on
2
purpose.
hours? Actually, that sounds better. Yeah, 120 minutes on the dot.
Luke's getting in my
Yeah.
mind right now. Okay.
Exactly. You've been exposed.
Alright. So, like, none of these are ranked for me. That's why it's kind of weird. But
I just know what you're about to get into.
the first one I want to talk about, because it's a director that I've already loved, and most of them are rewatches, but this was the first new watch, so it's kind of its own category. Is The Age of the Medici,
Okay.
Rossellini. Like, it's. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, considering.
That's Rossellini.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. But still, like, even though, like,
You just did a series on him. I would hope you would.
I don't like this time period as much. I don't
Okay.
know about it as much, But then actually watching it, like, because it centers on two characters. You could say one is the kind of political side, is Cosimo D'Amici,
Yeah.
and then the other guy is Batista, Leonardo Batista. He's like the artistic side, you could say. So he kind of goes back and forth of like why he kind of loves the Renaissance, like why Rossellini really loves the Renaissance through these two characters, and he basically just there's no plot whatsoever, just kind of just showing little stories or little like dialogue scenes or just what these two characters could have got up to, and like the first half of the 3 parts is like more Medici based, and the second half is more Alberti based. And you kind of Alberti is probably more Rossellini if you want to if you do watch them, like you see like Rossellini's like artistic kind of thoughts, basically like identical with what he chooses to show from Alberti and how he views art. So it's just great from that front too. Learning as much as I did about Rossini this year. But yeah, Age of Medici.
My number 9 is A Confusion, directed by Edward Yang, which recently this year got last year got a restoration, and so of course immediately when it was on the Twitter timeline, the rip of it, had to download it and watch it, and it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm already a big Edward Yang fan, but like this is definitely his funniest movie by far. Like it's pretty much a straight comedy. It's like a cynical comedy, almost about, or cynical satire, basically about like these like corporate people, like young corporate workers in Taipei, and kind of like how like, in a sense, how can one like become, how one can like intertwine their professional and personal lives to a point where they become one, and like how that's not good, obviously. So in a way, it's like so funny because he made this in like late 90s, early 2000s. I think late 90s actually maybe by mid 90s. But it says it's like he predicted like finance bros to a T, like the crypto bros basically. Like it's insane. And yeah, it's unbelievable. I've heard some people compare it to Laurent too. So Danny, you might need to get onto it. I can see the similarities, although I need to rewatch it again. But yeah,
Edward Yang definitely
fantastic.
a huge blind spot for me.
Yeah. You've seen like 2 movies actually of his, right?
I've seen him one.
You've seen Taipei Story and Bright Summer Day, right?
I don't think I've seen it.
I don't think he's seen.
I'm
Bright
pretty
Summer
sure you
Day.
saw Taipei Story.
Has he seen a Bright Summer Day?
Yeah, I have seen
I
it.
watched,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure you watched Taipei Story too, because I remember you telling me you watched it.
It's a great movie.
So yes, sir. All right.
I don't remember it.
Oh,
Damn.
2022.
Forced Cowards Forward.
we got him.
That one might have been.
Save
like,
that one for the podcast. Future podcast.
I can admit that one. See, at least I can admit every rare Coward Sport for me.
Rare.
Rare,
I have
okay.
a collection. It's adding up. Okay.
Okay, collection. You just like go to my letterbox and go by 4-star ratings.
sir.
No. It's
All
a
of them.
certain criteria.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of this.
But for my next pick, I'm actually going to go with the movie that Blake had mentioned on his favorite rewatches, which is the Starship Troopers.
Let's go.
Basically, to reiterate what he was saying, though, I really like the way this movie like portrays the propaganda of like patriotism and like going to war for your country versus the reality of like how brutal that can be. But it's also a really, really funny movie too.
Yes.
And very entertaining. So yeah, great movie. He also does something similar in, although I don't like this movie as much, but he does something similar in RoboCop also.
Oh, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
I love RoboCop too.
Yeah.
Not as much as Starship Troopers, but I do.
Yeah.
Love
They're both
RoboCop.
coming from a similar place for
Yes,
sure.
they are. My number 9 is Kitano's Kids Return, actually. So Danny had mentioned this actually on his rewatches, but he didn't want to put it on there because we're going to talk about it soon. But he didn't know I was going to have it on my list. So, but Kids Return. We'll get into this also more in the actual series that we do later on next year. But it's after I want to say after Sonatine, Kitano kind of splits he kind of like goes from telling these more linear stories to more like dual stories, or like his movies are more about two people,
Like parallel,
essentially, like
basically,
parallel.
yeah.
Like,
Except
or
for Violent
parallel-
Cop is also like the...
Violent. See, that's why I don't know. I have to watch it again. Because I think like Kids Return has a stronger duality in it, obviously,
yeah.
with between the two characters in that, and then also Hanabi has a stronger parallel in my opinion. But no, Kids Return is just it's showing the life of two different kids and how the choices they made kind of like split their lives to like two different ways, and then they are trying to meet again where they began. It's literally a movie trying to come like full circle and showing like a friendship as kind of like that. But it's also just really sweet at the end of the day too, and it's a really good boxing movie too. Like I wasn't expecting that going in, but it's also a really good boxing movie. and a pretty decent Yakuza movie. So
For sure.
Well, I think it does a good job. Also, I mean, we're gonna talk about this movie. That's why I don't want to talk too much. But yeah,
That one almost made my top 10 for sure. It's a great movie.
yeah, I would just say it's a good sports movie. So I guess you
Yeah.
said it was a boxing movie, but
and it's just like the ending. Like Kataro's endings are always so good, man. Like the ending of Kid's Return is just. It hits you right in the feels, man. It really does.
one
Like
of
in a
his
good
best
way.
scores too, like a theme.
It's so good.
The Ghibli soundtrack.
Yeah,
What's his
literally.
name? Why am I forgetting his name?
Joe Sashi.
Hishashi. Oh my gosh,
Damn.
his best score.
A scene at the
Why are you
sea is
looking
really
at me
good,
like
man.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the score.
I know that'd be a hot take because he's Ghibli.
A Kid's Return.
Okay, my favorite
is
Hisashi score is
obsessed.
Casting Blossoms to the Sky. So,
Yeah,
which is not a Ghibli score.
that doesn't surprise me at all.
Why you say that? Why you saying it like that?
I don't know. I just like it does because I was going to say that like it doesn't surprise me about myself either. That it's also not Ghibli.
Okay.
It's like both of us.
Although actually, okay, his Ghibli scores are incredible.
No, they are. That's why I don't underrate them too.
But you just did.
But see, I always think of the Kid's Return score, especially because Blake said the ending. Because you said it's an optimistic movie or a hopeful ending. I actually don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
It's almost like
I
a
didn't
dreamlike
use
ending.
hopeful. I didn't use hopeful.
okay.
I said it just comes full circle.
It does, yeah.
It kind of just shows how friendship almost works.
Yeah.
And also, like, we'll get into it more, obviously. Like, I'll just say that, I guess. But, I mean, one of them is definitely more prone to peer pressure, I guess you would say. And you can see how that leads his life a certain way. And then the other one is just very brash and very confident in himself. And whenever something goes wrong for the first time, you kind of see how his life goes after that. But, I don't know.
No, I can see that.
I don't know if I would say it's opportunistic.
No.
But I also don't think it's like it's definitely not his most pessimistic ending. I don't think either.
No. Alright. My second pick is also the director that because Luke had picked him, Godard. This was the first watch from a director I've already seen some from. Histories of Cinema. Of course, has to be on.
Almost made my list.
Yes.
But it just
What? How did it not make the list?
I watched a lot
Fake
of good
fan,
stuff this year.
fake fan,
I watched a lot of
fake
good
Godard
stuff.
fan. That is crazy.
God is.
How is this not on your list? This
I
is
watched
literally
a lot-
one of the
I was-
epics
I
of-
mean,
this
I'll
is one of the
say
epics of
why.
cinema. I'm gonna make you feel
There's just a
guilty.
lot of good stuff. It would have been like 11 or 12.
also-
probably.
Damn, it's
So.
crazy it's not on your list.
It was
And you're the one who
cool.
picked Godard too. Like I wouldn't have watched this movie.
We
if you
didn't
hadn't
pick this
picked
movie though, too.
But like I watched it partly because you picked Godard, probably.
Yeah, fantastic though.
And it's kind of related too because I talked a lot on the Ross Saney series about Ross Saney's idea of history, why he was so attracted to it, like what he thought he could do, and then like what he thought it is, and like also the kind of creative aspect of history. And Godard's movie is also about that in a way, and it's like its own take on it. Like especially his is much more about the cinema aspect of it too, like how cinema itself has been used to tell history.
Yeah.
And like, and not only the positives, but it's actually mostly negative. And he's very honest about that. But like, aside from all the theme stuff, just like the way the film is made too, it's just so good. It's one of those movies like you just have to let it wash over you, and then like expect to go in. You're not gonna know what's going on most of the
Definitely
time.
over-
No,
yeah,
but the
it's
fact that
overloaded
like you're
for
not
sure.
supposed to know what's going on. You know, it's like
Yeah.
overloaded information, like
No,
only
yeah.
Godard can do. But it's like he makes that overload like pleasurable in a way.
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
the Hitchcock episode. That's like probably most memorable for me.
And then I also watched the Image Book, and it's not as I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
But like that's more just because the like history of cinema is like just like
Yeah, it's like, how do you-
that's
how-
why like how is it not on your top 10? It's so crazy. It's like one of the great works of cinema.
It's just, there's a lot of great works of cinema.
Make
and
him feel guilty.
It was
I
very,
have
it was
to.
very hard.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
explaining too soon that like.
But this is Godard though. How many Godard? Like he literally. This is Godard. How many?
I
I
rewatched
did
it.
a series on him.
I rewatched
You're the one
it
who
a lot
picked
this
him
year.
too. I can't believe I'm making this argument here.
It almost made my list, guys. It was close. It was close.
We'll have to see the rest of your picks, I guess.
Danny's not gonna be happy.
But yeah, Ross Laney. That's why I also Agent
He's gonna be
Beach-
so mad what I'm about to say next too. Oh no.
Okay, go ahead. What's your three?
My number 8.
Oh, 8.
not 3.
Okay.
My-
I've actually picked like probably my two favorites. So
Oh damn.
right off the bat.
My number 8 is I've Always Loved You, directed by Frank Borzage.
There's no way. Come on,
His face.
Come on.
I promise you, it's
There's no
it's
way.
amazing. It's amazing. I promise you.
History to cinema.
Yeah, I can't even talk. Well, they just look at me like that.
I'm just saying, you only picked one of these directors.
I'm sorry, but I've always loved it. It's an incredible film. I promise you.
I have no doubt about that, but
Yeah, you do.
I do.
So I've always loved you. We did a Frank Borzage film on the podcast, A Trees Made at Night. That also could have been on here. But I just rewatched this, and it's a toss up between the two. I went with this one because we didn't talk about it in the pod really. That was really the reason why I like tipped this one in its favor. They're very on the same kind of like level for me, but I've always loved you. It's basically about this like relationship between this girl and this famous concert pianist and this like prodigy, you could say, and kind of like in a sense it's like a love affair movie, but in a sense it's almost like the love in a sense is more like portrayed through like their work as musicians. So in a way, it's almost like about how his art can be like transposed. I don't even know, like converted into emotions, feelings, ideas. Like it's almost like music is used as like a weapon in this movie. If that's my best way of describing it, which makes more sense if you see it, but because there's some amazing scenes of it. But yeah, Frank Borzage, underrated director. Danny's kind of a hater, but we're fine with it.
Have you seen History to Cinema? Wait, have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. You said it would have been 11 or 12 on this year's list.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I've always loved you.
Like it might be my number one overall. Like if I had to rank them. You know?
Okay. It's just like a lot taken, you know.
It is. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, I watched a lot of great
So
movies.
I can't blame you for that.
It's a lot of great movies.
Like a Borzage one, you kind of absorb
Only
it the
10
first
spots.
time. You know, you get it most of it on the first watch. So it's kind of.
I actually watched it twice.
Okay, damn it.
So anyway, that's it.
So my next pick is going to be a movie I actually just watched. I think it was like last weekend. But that's Tony Scott's Deja Vu.
Yes, sir.
Oh, let's go.
This barely didn't make my list either.
Oh.
Fortunately, Danny's so mad at me. Danny's so.
I love Deja Vu.
Like, yeah, it almost made my list. That's what I was gonna say.
But this is a movie I wanted to bring up just because, like thinking about it, like these are the type of movies we really don't get anymore. And I really wish we would.
Yes.
Like we should be giving auteurs the opportunity to take swings like this and, you know, kind of like innovate on genres. And
I mean, it's Tony Scott doing Vertigo. What else?
no,
do you
literally,
need?
I was going to bring up one of my favorite reviews for this movie, which puts it better than how I could put it, is from Jake Cole, which says it's a police procedural compounded by time travel and obsessive longing, as if someone reverse engineered Vertigo from Chris Marker's deconstruction of it in Sans Soleil, then decided to wrap it up in an overarching response to the entire failure of the Bush era.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Which makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider that the movie's like set in like New Orleans and post 9/11, of course.
That's post Katrina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they reference it in the movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great movie.
It also got me to got me in a Beach Boys phase this year because
Beach Boys.
They played the one Beach Boys song a lot in that movie.
Mhm.
Was it "Don't Worry, Baby"? That's what it's called.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And oh my god, the use of it is incredible.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
No, great movie, and Denzel is amazing as ever.
Unbelievable.
And you said the word auteur,
Mhm.
and like this, because Tony Scott's actually not. I don't know if he still thought of that. Like I know, like a lot of like film
should.
heads should think of him like
Yeah,
that. They do,
for
but
sure.
he literally is in the best sense of the term because he is literally pushes style to the extreme. Like
Yeah.
he is such a stylistic director. Like
And
he has his own style.
So many directors have taken from him afterwards,
yeah.
for sure. Like
Oh, yeah.
you think about the influence of like Top Gun alone.
Nolan.
It's been insanely influential.
Like you like I don't like it's such a this is such a big movie like influence on Dark Knight. The like the post 9/11 stuff you were saying,
Mhm.
like the whole spying on people and
Yeah, Patriot.
Yeah.
using it for like
Yeah, Patriot.
personal
Mhm.
like emotion, basically.
Yeah, the way it incorporates like time travel is very unique
Yeah,
It is very
to that subgenre of movie. I think for sure.
Yeah, like basically two of my favorite directors now, Nolan and Michael Bay,
Mhm.
both are huge. You could tell are huge Tony Scott fans.
Definitely.
But damn, Tony Scott, like even more so, like he pushes like montage to the extreme. That's why I like. He's such a film guy.
Yeah.
You know, even more than other auteurs that are more like about stories and stuff,
Yeah,
which is not bad. But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, what's yours?
My
Next pick.
number 8 is Stars in My Crown. Jacques Tourneur. Very good movie.
Okay.
That's was this on your list last year?
No, I watched first time this year. I have a Turner maybe
okay.
coming up.
Well, I mean,
perhaps.
I have another one on this list as well, but this one was.
Oh,
too
you have
good
two.
to leave
Oh,
out.
I didn't repeat any directors.
I have a couple that had to because they were better than the other ones. The other ones.
I mean,
I've
I do
seen, so-
I actually do have.
I
That
didn't really
I have
wanna
that as
limit
well, to be
myself.
honest, but I still didn't put them in. I'll mention them as honorable mentions.
No, see, I didn't want to limit myself because if I did, like, Stars in My Crown was one of my favorite movies that I watched this year, so I had to put it on here, man.
Yeah.
It's what Turner does with his horror, like more horror movies, but just in like a completely different setting
Yes.
and way more like hopeful and free almost. Like this Western I'm not gonna call him Baptist, but basically Baptist, like like a church feel. Like I can't remember who I follow that said this, but it's basically like he uses the spaces that he usually leaves blank, like in his horror movies, like all the imaginary things that you're thinking of, like that are just off screen. Except in this movie, it's like all sunlight, and it's actually happy things that are kind of like happening. But there's also that stuff of like the well getting poisoned, and then the people realizing that there needs to be not just like science can't do everything to help with stuff like this, and neither can religion. Like there has to be like a combination of the two, which is also something Jacques Tourneur always talks about, is like this
light and dark aren't like mutually exclusive.
yeah, not mutually, like they form an inclusive relationship kind of.
Yeah.
So
No, I'll just go keep with the Turner because that would have been my other pick, but Cat People is mine for first
nice.
watch. Yeah, like the reason why I picked Agent Medici and History to my first two is because those were directors I'd already seen and knew pretty well. So like to me they're first watches, but they're not really first watches because I knew the directors pretty well.
Yeah.
The rest of the people I'm going to talk about now are like directors that I came to the first time this year.
Yeah.
So that's what makes these like to me true, like in the spirit of a first watch for me is like.
Yeah.
That's why I said like I don't like watching directors in isolation, especially when I'm talking about a director. Like that's why I was talking about Peter Bogdanovich. Like I almost feel like not qualified because I need to watch some other movies first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Cat People, we reviewed on the podcast, so we don't have to talk too much about it. But just like how like it's. I remember you saying like it's like kind of he's like Bresson in a way.
His efficiency.
You're trying to sell me on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that simplicity of like how little do you need to actually make something scary or psychologically effective, or just instead of the other way, which I think a lot of things people think movies are the other way around. It's like what's the most you can do. You know, that's what a movie is. It's like how much you can put on screen. You know, how big the budget is or whatever. But really, to me, like film is like kind of the opposite. Like those are some of my favorite movies. And Cat People is like definitely like that. That's what always stands out to me. Is like just the shadows and the walls and the
yes.
I don't know,
the things
the
left
ending.
unseen.
Yeah, exactly. The ending.
The desires of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the like how dumb the guy is too.
Damn.
I'm a modern woman or something like whatever he says. Okay, yeah, Cat People.
All right. So now we're getting to number 7. I'm gonna say right now, 1 through 7 was so hard for me to arrange. I'm still not satisfied with it, but I don't think I ever will. So, fuck it. Here we go. But actually, my number 7 worked out so perfectly because you guys were just talking about Turner. My number 7 is Out of the Past, which it hurts to put this low.
That is low.
But that should tell you what's above it is
Okay.
like so good too. It's but yeah, Out of the Past. I mean, you guys are kind of already talking about it, but like Out of the Past, one of the coolest noirs I've ever seen. Robert Mitchum, maybe the coolest, the coolest performance I've ever seen out of anyone. And I mean, realistically, it's just like because you're talking about like light and dark and stuff, like how he uses it, like shadows and stuff. And like Out of the Past, it's such an interesting take on the noir film where like basically with Turner, how he keeps you on your edge in this movie is, in a sense, what a lot of times when noirs, a lot of times darkness means bad and like light means like good. I think we talked about this in the Cat People episode too, like the lyrical abstractionists. In a sense, Out of the Past also does it because in a way like everything that's lit up in this movie in a sense is almost like dangerous, but like it's like everything that's shiny in a way is almost like. It's almost like so dangerous for him, but he like, and then everything that's like kind of like the darkness in a sense is like more like safe in a way. So
Cat People has a similar theme like that.
Yeah, all his movies really. Yeah. I would argue a lot of them, and in a sense he's almost tying that in with the noir hero, kind of like the noir hero. He kind of like, in a sense he's more like comfortable in the danger. That's what he wants in a sense. Like he can't have a normal life because he is in a sense he's almost trapped. Mm-hmm. Within these confines of his character, his profession, which in a sense kind of informs the ending of the movie, I would say, for sure. And kind of like him being like, I mean, there's like great moment where he's like, I think I'm in a frame or something, and the guy's like, well, we need to go inside to see the full picture or something. It's like, okay, this guy, it's obvious at this point, like what he's trying to say. But yeah, I can't emphasize how cool Robert Mitchum is, though. Oh my god. Yes. Every line he says when he says like "baby" at the end of the line,
the build my gallows high baby line is just like
honestly, my favorite is my favorite is when she's like stuttering, she's like, oh, but I did this. He's like, yeah, baby, I don't care, baby, and like makes out with her basically. It's so like good. Damn, unbelievable.
He's hot in that movie too.
He's hot in every movie. Goddamn. But yeah, that's my number 7.
Okay. For my next pick, I'm going to go with Tales of a Golden Geisha.
Okay.
Which is directed by...
I haven't seen this one.
No, I don't think you have at all. Which is one of the reasons I brought it up, because it's from directed by Juzo Itami.
Oh, yes, I haven't seen this guy at all.
Yeah, so I don't think any of you guys have really watched.
Wait, how have you not seen Juzo Itami?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I
know.
Have you not seen Tampopo?
I haven't seen Tampopo yet.
You haven't seen Tampopo?
I have not. It's one that
that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
wait,
I know
what?
That's crazy.
That's like, well, okay, dude, that's insane to me. That's actually absurd. I'm like shocked.
Yeah, I know Blake would like him for sure. But
oh my god, food and sex in a movie.
Add to your 2025 list.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I might have to.
Ramen
shame me into
it. It's the ramen sex movie. Of course, he's gonna love it, bro.
Damn, Dustin, only 3.3 on Letterboxd. Defend yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna mention this is one of his less popular movies, but after
that's kind of crazy because this is one of his like most seen, isn't it? Also,
no, that one's also lower, but I think it should be one of his more popular. I do think it's one of his best. It basically follows this woman from one of his main actresses, or probably. It definitely is his main actress, Nobuko Miyamoto, and it's basically she's like an orphaned little girl who gets is like led into a career as a geisha, and it kind of like follows her story of like trying to like rise in society and why the sexism of that society like kind of like won't let her. But it's a really interesting and kind of like heartbreaking at some points movie. But I think it's very well done.
The synopsis sounds like a Mizoguchi movie.
Okay, I can see that. But no, I really like the movie.
Did you watch a lot of his this year?
I've watched all of his movies. Maybe not all of them this year, but that was my main Itami like blind spot that I covered. Okay. Yeah, so I think I've watched all of his movies now.
Yeah, I still haven't seen any of his either.
You should.
Okay.
Alright, my number 7 is actually Casting Blossoms to the Sky.
Yes, sir.
Something Luke already mentioned earlier whenever we were talking about Joe Hisaishi.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't watch as many Obayashi as I was wanting to this year. I was really wanting to like almost.
I'm like also like procrastinating on it.
I know exactly. But I did watch Casting Blossoms in the Sky, and it is just another of his beautiful movies on kind of what war does to the individual and to humanity as a whole as well.
It's also like it's interesting because it's like a video essay.
It is.
In a
It's
way.
literally
It's
a
like
video
almost like
essay.
document. He like goes from documentary to fiction.
It's very weird how he does it sometimes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm probably gonna love it even more whenever I watch it again.
Oh,
honestly.
I loved it on a new level on rewatch.
Yeah,
Let's
like
do that.
because it was definitely it was interesting when he decided to do that also.
yeah,
But I mean, it's one of his best.
no.
A rewatch might make it in his best for me, but I don't know, man. He's got
it's,
so
it's
many
probably
movies.
it's probably my favorite of his right now.
I mean, mine's still Miss Lonely, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Like you just need to play me the score and I'll probably tear up for that movie.
I mean, honestly,
Like, goddamn.
the score's so good. Joe Sashi knocks it out of the park.
Although I don't know, Danny might like not like the about the score.
What?
Just like liking this, like no. Never mind.
Well, and because we're gonna, I mean, obviously we're gonna get to Katano next year, and we're gonna talk about like Hanabi, which Hanabi has another like whenever you have something like casting blossoms in the sky, it's literally like fireworks.
Yeah.
Which fireworks themselves are destruction, but they're made beautiful. Like it's something
Yeah.
like this whole movie is basically about like we have the capacity to create beauty, but we create destruction
Yeah.
with what we can make beauty with. But
Is there like a line that's like, what if all the like bombs we made went like
Yeah.
fireworks or something like that?
there is
I
exactly
butchered
that.
that
Exactly.
horribly, but
I mean,
it's
that's
said much
that's
more
the
beautifully.
sentiment. It's the sentiment, though.
Yeah.
You got the sentiment correct.
Yeah.
But like that's also kind of what like Katana's doing, like Hanabi, or he's showing something like that as well. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, like casting blossoms in the sky is amazing. So
for sure.
My next pick, I watched because I was like doing the Rossellini series, and a couple directors like I mentioned that were big influence on him. This was one of them. Was King Vidor, and
Okay.
the movie I watched was The Crowd. Have any of you guys seen this? You've seen this? Okay.
Yeah, I watched it the first time this
I
year.
have not seen
Okay,
the crowd.
yeah.
I really liked it.
No, I really liked it too. Like, just like there's a kind of aspect of just like telling the story of just a random guy. You know, like there's nothing special about this particular guy that he's telling the story, and so by that alone, it makes the movie more about the environment itself, or like the kind of world he's growing up in. You know, you're not too focused on just this individual because you can kind of even from the like my favorite shot in the movie is like how the movie starts when it just like zooms in from outside just into this great wide shot of all the people working at the desk, and then keeps zooming in closer until finally just lands on the guys working alone.
Yeah.
But then it kind of just goes through just like different aspects of city life of the time, you know, almost documentary like. So you can kind of see like the Rossellini aspects of like trying to be more documentary approach to like telling about a man through his environment and stuff. But I definitely need to watch more King Vidor too. But yeah, my next pick will also be related to
A lot of his like, and he has like people have posted stills of like his color movies, and they're like always jaw dropping. Like because he made a lot of like westerns, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Too. So I definitely want to watch him for sure at some point. I'll get to him. But yeah. All right, my number 6. Also very painful to put this low. It's just painful even saying it that I'm putting this at number 6, but it's The Bellboy, directed by Jerry Lewis. Basically, I got into Jerry Lewis this year. There's still more I need to watch, but I don't know if he's gonna get better than this movie because this is just like so perfect. Like, because he even tells you right from the beginning that this is like there's no like narrative throughout the movie. I think he presents it as a series of silly gags in a sense. Like he's straight up saying like there's no narrative in this. I'm not trying to make some sort of narrative. I'm just trying to like in a way just create these moments in a sense. And I mean they're unbelievable. All of them land in my opinion. And like in a way it's almost like it almost becomes about like I guess just being in the workplace I guess and just like being disillusioned by it with this kind of like with this character kind of like in a way not understanding the norms you could say of like of society and of his profession, and how that relates to us all in a sense. But yeah, so many great moments. Definitely.
there are a lot of great moments.
I
didn't love it as much as you, but I do like it.
Yeah, just some of the things he does with his body, it's just like unbelievable. Like, you won't understand it. I still don't understand it.
The scene of him setting up the chairs in the auditorium
Oh.
is probably my favorite and it's the most memorable to me.
The
as well,
phone
but
scene, the fucking I don't even know there's so many. There's just so many. But yeah.
For my next pick, I'm going to go with The Face of Another.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, by Teshi Gahara.
Yes.
And the main actor is obviously one of the most famous actors in Japanese film history, Tatsuya Nakadai. And he's awesome in this movie. But yeah, basically it just explores the main theme is like, what would you do if you could be like anybody, Like if you're
If you're not yourself.
Yeah, you're like starting from, blank, pretty much. Like what would you do?
It's so good.
But it's a very interesting movie. Some parts of it are pretty gross.
That's some
which
great
is good.
just techniques, honestly, on
Yeah.
how to do things practically for faces also.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I still remember the ending of the movie is so fucking awesome and
One of the
creepy.
best
Like,
endings, for sure. Oh, the ending is fucking terrifying.
it's
yeah.
so good.
But yeah, that's my pick.
Great pick. My next pick is Rouge by Stanley Kwan. I've already talked about it a few times on this podcast now. I did rewatch it this last week to get it like fresher in my mind, and it got even better, honestly, because I didn't forget that it's a double movie, but the doubles are the couples also, so it's like a quadruple movie as well. I don't know, but it's just an interesting look at love and what people will do for it, and how love also transcends time, kind of like how I've always talked about why I love Interstellar like that. But Leslie Chung, Anita Mui, amazing in the movie. The other couple is also amazing this entire movie. It also just looks beautiful. Like Stanley Kwan knows how to shoot a movie, man. Or whoever the DP was, they knew how to shoot this movie. Like it looks amazing. So we'll have to get to it on the podcast at some point.
This next pick is also a movie I watched. I've already watched this director before, but I kind of went to him because Ross Linney was also a big fan. And I never watched this movie specifically. Was Greed by Stroheim.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen this one?
Is this the 4-hour long one?
Oh, you watched it the
I
first
watched
time?
the 2-hour 20-minute one.
This was the first time watch?
Yeah, first time watch. No, yeah. It's like also one of these things like the same way with Vidor. The reason why he likes Stroheim as well is like they kept their movies more realistic or grounded in a way, which at the time more movies were more in the were more fantastical, more kind of like or westerns, that kind of like more like dramatic themes. This one like Greed, just like the crowd I picked, more like on like they're kind of more
It tells you literally in the title, I guess, probably.
Yeah, like I guess they're more pessimistic movies in some way, but also I guess what Ross and you say, they're more honest, like about like certain themes that are more pertinent to like what was going on at the time. But then Greed, like I haven't seen the 4-hour cut, but like the way Stroheim just like is willing to kind of just let his actors just like stay on screen, and kind of like. It's just so refreshing. It kind of gets you into like how these makes you feel like you're watching real people, But yeah, and just like the theme alone of Greed, like it's one of my favorite themes in movies. This idea of like how what money does to like what it can do to corrupt people and stuff. But yeah, Stroheim. Have any of you guys seen Stroheim at all?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have, yeah. For some reason, I thought you already watched that for some reason.
No. I've seen like Foolish Wives
Okay.
and Blind Husbands.
Yeah, he's actually a very major blind spot for me. I always forget about him. But, yeah. Alright. My number 5 is a Lubitsch film. It is The Smiling Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, one of his musicals that actually Danny showed to me for the first time, and then I watched it 2 other times because I was obsessed with it. I mean, Lubitsch making a musical, that's like enough for me to be so on board. It's ridiculous, but like this one, I mean, it's a combination of Maurice Chevalier, just whole performance, like his smile, the way he talks, the love triangle, and how he relates to the love triangle in this movie, but also like the way the songs are performed. First of all, the songs are like super catchy and like really funny, like. In a way, it's almost like it's really interesting compared to a lot of like the musicals around this time and like maybe later in old Hollywood, where a lot of the old Hollywood songs, I'm not saying this is bad, but like a lot of them were very much musical. I wouldn't say musical theater. It's like kind of, but it's more they're putting on a performance for you, compared to Smiling Lieutenant, where the musical numbers, in a sense, they're almost like talking or flirting the words to each other. In a sense, like it's almost just it's more, I guess, more grounded. I would for sure say. In a sense, they also like look at the camera too, and they're like it's very static. A lot of the musical numbers. Like it's honestly, I'm sure. Like I wonder if Demi loved this movie because it's honestly very similar how he uses his songs in his movies. Like it's like if they're not singing it, it would still make sense in the movie in a way. But yeah, it's just an unbelievable movie about this kind of like love triangle in a sense, and almost like about him kind of about side chicks.
Yes,
A classic Lubitsch film about that.
So you like this one more than Design for Living?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Design for Living is great. But yeah, I was very if this because there's another Lubitsch film I also watched for the time this year, Angel, which also could have made this list, but I didn't want two Lubitsch films. So yeah, Smiling Lieutenant, unbelievable film.
For my number 5 pick, I'm going to go with a director I just first watched for the first time this year, Jim Jarmusch, in a movie Mystery Train. You could definitely put him in that kind of category we were talking about earlier, like the independent American directors. But this movie is very interesting in my opinion. It kind of follows 3 different storylines that all take place in this like in the same setting. They're all tied to the same like hotel in Memphis, but it's very funny and very interesting. So yeah,
Jim Jarmusch. I need to watch more Jim Jarmusch
Same.
because I know he loves Aki Kaurismäki, and I love Kaurismäki, so
yeah. This
probably
one,
like Jarmusch a lot. And I know I've seen some of like Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yeah,
I've seen some of
And
that.
Ghost
on
Dog is really
Criterion
good.
Channel.
yeah. This one and Ghost Dog are my favorite Jim Jarmusch movies for sure.
I need to watch Ghost Dog for sure. That one looks awesome.
Yeah.
My number 5 though is Chang-Chi's Vengeance with an exclamation mark. It's probably my favorite Chang-Chi movie because I watched like, we'll get to the stats page I guess, but I've watched a lot of Chang-Chi this year, and I love his formula of he has a vengeance formula. So this movie is literally just kind of what he's known for, is just like a vengeance type
With
of
an
movie.
exclamation point.
Yeah, with an exclamation point. But this one it mostly follows David Chang as he's trying to get vengeance on the people who killed his brother, who was T Long in the beginning. And it's got some things to say about the changing Hong Kong, or the changing of the times, because I think this is set in like the 1910s or 1920s, and I want to say it's in Hong Kong or whatever Hong Kong was called back then, but it might have still been Hong Kong actually, because I think Britain was there. But it's just very stylized too. Like, I've never seen Chang-Chi do like a noir-esque take on his formula, and in this it's very noir inspired, and I really loved it. So the colors are popping in this movie the entire time too. So favorite movie from him.
Alright. So all my next picks are gonna be directors that I started for the first time this year, and I watched at least a few. Starting with the one I've watched the least of, Chantal Ackerman's A Whole Night, which will probably be, I haven't rewatched this, which is why I'm not mentioning it higher, but A Whole Night, I know Luke has seen it, but it's so good. Like,
Unbelievable, yeah.
just like, you know how much I talked about in this podcast about like being anti-narrative, or like kind of like appreciating other aspects of cinema outside of just narrative. But this one also has like one of my favorite things of like usually when you see people, they're approaching the camera on screen, but almost all the shots in this movie are like people going away from the camera.
Yeah,
which kind of makes so
going
much
through
sense for
doorways.
her. Yeah,
too.
going through doorways, but like kind of like walking away, you know.
Yeah. Like meeting and departing.
Yeah.
I think of it as
And then also,
at night.
and then people waiting too.
Yes.
Just like things that go on at night, kind of just.
Yeah, it's like. It's not like a narrative at all.
No,
for
no.
sure.
And just a very gorgeous movie too, very dark movie. I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
unbelievably.
We'll have to talk about her at some point.
For sure.
But yeah, Whole Night. I'm gonna watch more of it. I still haven't seen Jin.
John,
You know, the number one movie of all
you're just
time.
dodging it, bro. You're
I mean, it's
you're
so
walking all the way
hard.
around it. You just gotta hit it, bro.
I will.
Come on, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Yeah. All right. This one's also super painful to put at number 4 because I think it's the film I watched the most this year. I think I watched it 3 times. I don't think I've watched anything else 3 times. Danny mentioned it earlier. New Rose Hotel, directed by Abel Ferrara. God, why? Yeah, this is painful. It's painful, but I mean, you kind of mentioned earlier with like the form of it, which is like how he's using like high res video to, in a sense, create the sci-fi world. Because it's also really interesting how basically it's a sci-fi film without any like of the regular important sci-fi scenes you usually see in a film. Like all of like the main like plot you could say of like her seducing the guy, you never see any of it. In fact, you're remember like first couple times watching it, why I rewatched it a lot is I was confused on what was going on. Like I loved the movie, I was like I just need to get a grasp on it. I still don't really have a grasp on it, like which is a good. I see it as a good thing because I think it's intentional. But like he's like intentionally like not giving you anything, and like the ending kind of comes out of nowhere, kind of hits you in the face too, like with her like betraying them, I guess, and like the fallout from it. It's almost like in like how he kind of like relays the earlier parts of the movie back to you, like in kind of flashback form, which like a lot of people would be corny, which we've talked about like directors doing that corny on this podcast, but he does it like unbelievably well. And yeah, it's just it's like it's so psychedelic and in a way my reading of it, it's like in a sense how when we meet or know a person, we don't truly know them in a way. We have an idea of them that we know or fall in love with, but we can never truly like, I guess we have this image of a person that we upheld, but we can't particularly.
I also think it would make a good triple feature with Vertigo and Deja Vu. They've already been mentioned.
I can see that. That's definitely damn, yeah.
That kind of like, yeah.
Talk about that idea a lot today. Damn. Yeah. Unbelievable film. Also, Asia Argento. Daddy.
For my next pick, I'm going to go with The Hitcher, which is by Robert Harmon, and from 1986. It follows basically this young guy named Jim who's like transporting this car from Chicago to California, and he basically, yeah, that's a great. But he basically starts getting stalked by this serial killing hitchhiker, who's like framing him for all the murders that he's actually doing. So it's kind of like about how this guy has to like clear his name, but also prevent these murders from continuing to happen because he's being framed for them. And so very suspenseful, very entertaining, tight 98 minutes.
Love to see it.
Yeah. And the hitchhiker is actually played by Rutger Hauer.
I would love Rutger Hauer.
Yes, yeah. If you don't know him, he's the kind of like the main evil android
robot guy
from Blade Runner.
Is evil though?
Tears in the Rain guy.
It's debatable. It's debatable.
He's not evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Tears in the Rain guy.
He's the
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah, but he plays a similar role in this movie, and he's very good at it. So definitely recommend that one.
Never even heard of it, to be honest. So looks interesting.
What's the other one we watched about the kind of similar, like on a road, the guy killing people and framing someone? I'll look it up, but
It's a common
I'll have to.
premise.
because you also picked this, you also picked it too, and it was good. But I forgot. I'll find it.
While you're looking at that, I guess I'll do my number 4, which is Out of the Past.
Oh shit.
Breakdown,
Breakdown.
Oh yeah.
the one with Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Oh, that's
That one was
good.
really
Oh, I
good
do.
too.
remember this one.
Yeah. I like that one also.
Yeah.
But yeah, Out of the Past, my number 4. We kind of already talked a little bit about why Luke likes it so much. I like it for similar reasons, obviously.
Sure.
It's just one of the most fun movies to watch, also, at the end of the day. Like, I just have a great time watching this movie, mostly because of Robert Mitchum and Kirk Douglas, honestly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of doubles, I would say, in this movie, honestly, because you have, like, Kirk Douglas and Robert Mitchum
Yeah. As you
double, and then you have like the two women doubles, and then you have
Yes,
kind of like
yeah.
the sidekicks are also kind of like doubles at the end of the
Yeah.
day. But I don't know, like
And that's the reason why I thought of Out of the Past when I watched Full Contact for the first time this year.
yeah, you did tell me that,
Yeah,
and that's what made me watch Out of the Past,
and it worked.
and it did work. it worked, man. But no, yeah, like Turner, I watched a lot of Turner. Like we'll get to that whenever we get to our stats for the year. But these were the two that I couldn't leave them off because Out of the Past and Stars in My Crown were two of my favorite movies that I watched this year. So
Alright.
My next pick, another director I also watched for the first time this year, Pasolini, The Hawks and the Sparrows.
Okay, I also watched this for the first time.
Okay. No, I also rewatched this one too, for a good reason. Like, I just love how fun the movie is too, more than anything. It kind of has this kind of like Roslini anecdotal nature. Like,
Yeah.
it seems to be inspired by Flowers of St. Francis.
Yeah.
And kind of reacting to that too, but
Well, it's definitely more like I feel like it's more radical, like formally, or at least openly, like just aesthetically, I would say.
I mean, just because something is openly radical doesn't mean it's or more openly formally doesn't mean it's more radical. See,
Fair, yeah. I
that's why some people
I haven't
think
given that much
Godard
thought into it. Okay,
That's why some people think Godard is like more radical just because he's more open about it. Like
Okay.
his formalism is
Yeah.
more obvious, but
I guess
you could say that about
he's doing a lot
Hudson
with the
too,
form.
yeah, especially like the way like I mean I always love not only animals but talking animals. So we get
absolutely.
talking bird in this one.
Yes.
But he also is like more like just openly political and stuff like in a bunch of
Yeah.
subjects that Roslini would never do. So it's kind of like Pasolini in his own way. And yeah, like Pasolini's relation to like kind of history and the myths he uses is just really interesting in general, and not something I've actually explored too much yet. Outside of the movies, I've only watched once really. But yeah.
So now we're getting to number 3, which is the only film on here that we did on the podcast. I was gonna like keep all the podcast stuff out of my list, but if I didn't include this, it would just feel disingenuous. Do y'all know what it is?
I don't.
Voyage in Italy,
Oh,
directed
okay.
by Roberto Rossellini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a lot, very extensively, but to give it brief thoughts, I would say, like, in a sense, it's a film, in a sense, almost about, like, viewing one's place in the realm of history, I guess, or just, like, in a historical context within the moment. And the way, like, Rossellini kind of treats this kind of domestic drama on the same level as this, like, these, like, historical travelogue, documentary-esque moments is unbelievable to me. How he's able to kind of, like, transport between the two. Is incredible. And then the ending is obviously, like, unbelievable as well. But, yeah, we talked a lot about this movie, though, so, yeah. I don't want to keep it brief, but, yeah.
Damn, I didn't know it was your first time watching it though.
Yeah. Well, because I watched it, like, earlier this year. And then I rewatched it. Oh, actually, I've seen this movie 3 times this year. So it's not... New York Hotel isn't the one I watched the most this year. It's tied. This is tied for New York Hotel, but because I rewatched it again, like a bit before the Rossellini series, because I was like I couldn't get off my mind, and then I rewatched it again for the Rossellini series. So I watched it 3 times. That's probably why you thought I didn't watch it for the first time this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Voyage in Italy.
Great movie.
For my third pick, I'm gonna go with a director that I also watched for the first time this year. I still need to watch more of, but it's Bill Forsyth. Bill Forsyth. I'm not Scottish.
I think it's Forsyth. I feel like most
I think it's
time
Forsyth.
spelling is Forsyth.
Yeah, but it's Gregory's Girl, which is it's a movie about this teenager who like falls in love with this soccer player. Is a female soccer player that replaces him on the team because he like really just like doesn't really care about soccer. He just like he kind of sucks. He's not really trying. But once he like falls for this girl, it's like the only thing he cares about. It's like the only thing he talks about. It's like super funny, and it's like the type of movie where like if you watch it, it's like so endearing. I just don't know how you can not like it, to be honest. And that goes for all the movies I've watched from him, by the way.
Bill Forsyth.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3 is another Katana movie. The last one on the list, A Scene at the Sea. I love this movie, honestly. I watched it for the first time a month ago, I think, and then I watched it again a week later. It's one of his most beautiful films, I think, personally, on death, to put it frankly, because this entire movie, it kind of feels like the afterlife. It feels like you're watching someone that's already dead. And you can kind of say that's because he is, in the world sense of the word, because he's deaf. And the world doesn't treat people with disabilities very well to begin with. But it's more hopeful than that, because he's doing something he loves, or he found a passion and is trying to make himself like basically noticed by the sea, which is the world to him. And there are some interesting film tricks that Katana uses in this, such as to isolate the main character even more so than he will in most of his other movies, because he shows you a point of view shot from the main character in the first shot of the movie that you probably don't even realize is a scene from his perspective until you watch it again, because it's just a shot of the sea where, like, with nothing playing, it's completely like you can't hear anything, and then you get a shot from behind, you see the truck, and then you hear the sea. But that's like, you don't really realize that you're watching it from his point of view, I guess, until maybe after, or you might connect it like immediately after seeing that. But no other shot after that is really shot in his perspective. There are other people whose perspectives are shown, but his is never actually shown, which isolates him even more. And we'll get into this even more because I love this movie, and it might be a long podcast whenever we do it, but because it's gonna be a Scene at the Sea in 17. But it's definitely just a beautiful movie. It's got one of Joe Hisashi's best scores also for me. It was the first movie Katana edited himself. I have a great quote for that I'll save for the podcast too, because he went off in this movie. It was also the first one that he wasn't himself, so I think he said he wasn't sure how it was gonna go, but I mean, he knocked it out of the park, dude. I loved it.
Alright. So my last 3 picks will be honestly the ones I think that I'll just remember the most in the long, like, especially the most I've kind of talked, like, just overall this year, spent the most time on. So starting with Johnny To, who I can't believe I started this year, because I just looked. I've seen 15 this year.
You started him this year?
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure that's true.
I think it
No,
was.
I'm always messing up. But like,
You might have seen like 1 or 2.
maybe
you
the
probably
Rogue
started
Trio.
it.
Did I watch last year?
I feel like,
No, that was this year.
I feel like you've been talking.
No, that was last year. Fuck. Okay, but anyway, that includes.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, wait, I feel like he's been talking about him for a while.
No, but Heroic Trio, I was not talking about him. I actually only started him this year because, like, the first one, the one I'm picking though, is Running on Karma.
Ooh.
Because
It's the one I haven't seen still.
oh shit. Because it has like basically everything I love in a movie, like insane religious ideas, action, comedy, like a real weird guy in like an oddly fake bodysuit for some reason. Like, it's so crazy. Like he's like a former monk. Like if you, it's literally impossible to describe the movie, honestly, like in words. And like it's such a messy movie, but like partly on purpose, probably partly not on purpose, but also that's what makes it amazing too. And it just has like just amazing ideas. It has some of it has one of the most beautiful endings ever, with like this monk like confronting his past, and like I don't know, just I love Johnny To, like I guess just to talk about Johnny To as a whole too, because this idea of like being like a efficient studio director that also is really good with ideas, like he reminds me of just like a time that like doesn't really exist. Like even we've talked about some of the other directors like Tony Scott and Shyamalan and stuff.
Yeah.
Johnny To feels like on his own level in a way of like how much I love his movies and how good he is at doing that. Like we talked about The Mission already.
Yeah.
But, no, like the Exile movies and Exile and the election movies. I mean,
the election
and Exile.
movies. Basically all of his movies.
Yeah, basically
man.
all of his movies. Like he doesn't miss. Like he literally.
Like it's
like Buñuel to me, where he made a lot, but he's like just so good at his style and knowing exactly what he wants to do. Like for a lot of like, I talked about Gladiator too. Like normally, if a director's like making a lot of movies really fast, like they're gonna be garbage. You know, it's like, oh, the great director or whatever. It's like, no, it's usually he's not spending time or whatever. But there's like rare exceptions to this, where if they're making a lot, they can also be good. And Johnny To, like in the '90s and 2000s, was just, oh my god, it's crazy.
He pumped out so
You can't
many
even
good
imagine.
movies. Like Sparrow didn't make it on my list, but I watched it last week, and Sparrow was amazing, dude. Like he's made some of the best like early.
And I still haven't
movies.
seen Throwdown yet.
Oh, Throwdown is it's fantastic.
And I still haven't seen his rom-com, so there's like a huge portion I'm still missing. So that's
one of
also what I
my-
love about him too, because like I still have a lot
Spoilers
to-
for one of my film. What are we calling it? At the very
Oh,
end of this?
film resolution.
Yeah, film
Oh, actually, I need
resolutions.
to add that to mine.
That's one of my
Yeah,
film
yeah,
resolutions
yeah.
to watch his rom-coms finally.
I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that.
Okay. All right.
But no, it's crazy that Johnny To is most known. Like his most known movie is Heroic Trio, because while I like that movie, like it's not what he should be known for, because that's
Yeah,
not
don't
what
you
his
hate that
movies
movie?
are, man. That's not.
I
What
mean,
his
it's
movies
early
are.
'90s, and it's a studio.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not full Johnny To.
Well, it's also co-directed. I think he co-directed with someone else, so that might be only the second one though. I can't remember.
and just like the entertainment factor too. You're just gonna get like skilled entertainment, which is like Tony Scott too. Which
Yes.
there's something missing. You know.
Well, he definitely reminds you of like the Turners and Fords from back in the
Yeah.
day too. Just those really efficient directors that also made amazing movies almost every time. Although I can't say that for Ford, I guess, but Turner.
Yeah, you kind of are a Ford hater, though. That should be one of your new resolutions, bro.
That should be
John
one of
Ford.
mine, is to watch at least 10 Ford movies. At least 10 of the 200.
Yeah. So yeah. Top two now. My number two. This was so close to number one. Like I was still debating on it today, like which one should be number one, but at the end of the day, who cares? So they're both incredible. So number two is The Story of Marie and Julienne, directed by Jacques Rivette. Really, this is just my Jacques Rivette spot, to be honest. This one is just probably my favorite right now. I could see it changing because he has so many great films. Still, a lot I need to watch too. That I've been putting off. But basically, how do I describe this movie? Well, I feel like I have to describe Jacques Rivette in general. Like, I didn't really touch much about Celine Bonin because how he evolved is very interesting. But also, there's certain aspects of him that became more relevant in his filmmaking, I would say, past Celine Bonin. And big thing is, like, how mysterious, or just, like, the idea of a mystery. Where, like, Rivette kind of, like, in a way, he's almost drawing attention to how many things that we know and experience every day are mysterious. We just don't really think about it in that way. Like, it's honestly similar to a Turner type of deal, which I've heard people say Rivette's Love Turner, which I haven't been able to confirm, but I mean, it would make a lot of sense. But like, basically, like he can make anything mysterious, basically, and in a way, like it's just like it's just such an idea I've found really fascinating. And like this movie it's like one of his last movies. It came out in like 2003. The Story of Marie and Julienne. It's basically about like this clockmaker who's like blackmailing this like antique dealer, but then he's also like he's having this like he like sees this woman and like starts living with this woman that he like had an affair with a year ago, and they like start this relationship again. You can tell it's like hard as it's like you can't really describe it in terms of like plot details, but pretty much like in a way you just like in a way like how like it's also you could say it's similar to New Rose Hotel and like how mysterious people are, but also he's like combining elements of like magical elements, like supernatural elements into this relationship. In a way, it's almost like trying to control time to like make moments last forever in a sense, or at least last longer, or our inability to control it, even though we want to control it. Because he is a clockmaker, so he's like, yeah, it's one of the very, it's there's a lot to this movie that I would need to go into much more like length if I were to properly describe it. But yeah, the film is just a mystery in general. That's all I have to say. But yeah.
All right. So my top 2 picks are both Hitchcock movies. So I'm not going to go too much into detail into why I like this movie so much because it's going to bleed into the explanation for why my number 1 pick is my number 1. But my number 2 pick is a Dial M for Murder.
Okay, great.
And,
That is a great movie.
yes, yeah, really good. But yeah, basically it just follows the plot of a man trying to kill his
One location, trying to right?
yeah,
Pretty much. It's
yeah,
that
more
one
or
room,
less,
basically.
yeah.
Very few.
Yes. But yeah, great movie, great plot, and obviously this is what Hitchcock is the best at. It's like murder, mystery, crime type of movies. And this is very much one of his best movies, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I would agree. I love Dial M for Murder.
Also, just the way it, like progresses too, like how he's like he thinks to get away from it, and then when they he realizes stuff is doesn't add up, he tries to flip it around.
He tries every trick in the book.
Yeah,
he just
great.
can't,
It's great.
He just can't pull it off.
All right, my number 2. Luke foretold this in one of the podcasts. I don't remember which one. Wherever he said one of Blake's future favorite movies of all time.
Oh, okay.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Yes, sir. I was right.
It is one of my future favorite movies of all time.
That's why I'm want you to watch Legend of the Mount because I know it's gonna be right there with it.
No, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. We've talked about this movie a few times since I've watched it already, and we're definitely gonna have to get this on the podcast at some point because I love this movie, man. It's just one of the greatest movies about the human soul, honestly, and how
or the human connection,
and how that helps the human soul, honestly. That's truly connecting with someone is the only way you can actually understand what they're going through almost. Understanding what they're going through helps you understand why they're treating you this way, and it helps that process along with kind of healing almost. It's a beautiful movie, man. Paired with Ryuichi Sakamoto's score, which is
and his
maybe the greatest of all time.
His performance too is amazing. Him and Dave Bowie, their relationship in that movie.
Their relationship is great. Katano's and Lawrence's is great.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's a great movie.
I think this was number 1, number 2 on my last year's list.
I think it might have been
too. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie.
Another one that I watched once and then immediately watched it the next week too.
Right. My number 2. Also a director probably I'll remember the most from this year in some ways. But I know he's also coming up, Nicholas Ray.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The Lusty Man.
Damn. It was between this and Johnny Guitar.
Yeah, it was between those two, but I think, I don't know,
damn.
just slightly. It's just because,
they're both masterpieces.
I mentioned Kids Return being a sports movie, and there's not a lot of great ones, but The Lusty Man is also, a all-time great sports movie to me. And just kind of I used to kind of hate the title before I saw the movie. But then if you see the movie, the title makes so much sense.
That's unbelievable, yeah.
And then Robert Mitchum, maybe my favorite role for him.
I think in my review, when I rewatched it, I said every Robert Mitchum line reading in that movie is either the coolest thing you ever heard or the most devastating.
Yes. And just all the real shots of the actual bull riding and stuff.
Yeah, the rodeo.
Yeah, the rodeo shot. Yeah, rodeo, because we see very different events too going on. No, it's just so good and so tragic in a way.
Yes.
We'll talk about Nicholas Ray coming up.
Yes, sir. Damn. But this over Johnny Guitar, damn.
Yeah. No, I mean they're both the same.
They're both masterpieces at the end.
Also, Wind Across the Everglades is up there, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Bigger Than Life, maybe?
Bigger Than Life also up there. Yeah.
Bitter Victory.
Bitter Victory, damn.
Yeah, so many bangers, dude.
Yeah. I had Bitter Victory on here. I forgot to put Better Than Life, Bigger Than Life.
Yeah, damn. Alright, number 1 now. You guys already know. Actually, do you guys have an idea what I'm about to say?
For first watch?
Yeah.
Johnny Guitar?
No, I watched that first time last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you get it.
No.
It's a Howard Hawks movie.
Tell us.
Only Angels Have Wings.
Oh. Damn, no. I knew you talked about it a lot, but I thought that was this year.
God damn. Every day I have this battle in my head when I think about this movie. I was like, is this my favorite Hawks movie? And I'm like, I keep trying to deny it, and I don't know how much I can deny it for. It's like, it's this and like Hatari and Rio Bravo. They're all fighting for that top spot. But yeah, this movie, it's basically, it's about like this group of airline pilots in South America, and their job is to deliver mail to like in like dangerous terrain, pretty much. And in a way, it's the typical like Hawksian group dynamic where like these men and like it's like a study of like these men and their professional jobs, but in a sense, it's almost about like how does one relate to another person when your job or every day you could perhaps just die, basically. Like, you could just, like, crash and burn, engulf in flames. It's an incredible film about that. It's, like, examining these, like, all these different relationships between all these people within these dynamics. And yeah, the typical Hawksian way, like, there's, like, the romance, which is unbelievable in this movie. Fuck you.
I didn't say anything.
No, we know what you're thinking, though. You know what you're thinking. Just listen to all other Hawks episodes and you'll understand. But this one is like extra special too, because in a sense it's almost like he's almost like it's almost like the romance in this movie. Like Jean Arthur plays the girl, and she's like trying to make sense of this whole time, this relationship she has with Cary Grant, and like it's almost like it gets to the point where it boils up to the point where she's like, I have enough of this. It's just like too illogical. But then like the ending in a sense is almost her like rejecting that. Like it's almost like the ending it isn't logical in any shape, sense of the word. It's the most illogical thing you've ever seen. But like that's what makes it beautiful. I'm trying to explain I don't want to say what happens in the end because also it's hard to describe. But like it's the rejection of anything rational, logical. It's one of maybe the greatest ending of all time.
Have you seen the Wages of Fear?
Yes, it's.
I think it has a similar. The way you were describing.
So the thing about Wages of Fear is like, he's not as focused on the relationships in that movie.
No,
it's more about the tension of them
definitely.
dying at any moment.
Yeah,
which Hawks doesn't give a fuck about tension, to say the least. I mean, there's maybe some argument. No, yeah, you can't argue for it. He doesn't really care that much about, I guess, making a film tense in a sense. He's much more loose than that, compared to Wages of Fear and Sorcerer, I would say, too.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's my other one.
All right, so my favorite first-time watch, which I already mentioned was going to be another Hitchcock, is Rope from
Nice.
1948. And similar to what Luke had mentioned, this is definitely Hitchcock like flexing his muscle in terms of telling a whole story in like one or just a couple of locations. This one specifically is just in one location, and it's very well done, very interesting. I will say my interest in Hitchcock has coincided with my habit of falling into YouTube true crime rabbit holes. And I think Hitchcock definitely has a great mind for this type of genre. And also with one of my favorite rewatches from this year, The Killing, and the other Hitchcock movies I've mentioned before, is his like ability to like tell a story, and like how these criminals have like planned this elaborate crime that they think they're gonna get away with. But these just like these small details, catch up to them. And if you've watched or listened to any like true crime, that's very true of real life crimes too, and how they're solved. Yeah. And this one specifically is definitely like that. And in some ways, you could tell which direction the movie's going on, like very early on, but it's still entertaining and very interesting. And I think that's makes this movie like a great rewatch candidate. Like I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of watching this one.
Have you seen 39 Steps?
Not yet. No.
You should, because you were describing like the true crime element, like and like the little details of the crime.
Yeah.
You should watch that.
39 Steps is very good as well.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is all about how like these two classmates have killed
They're gay. gay.
Maybe that's part of it. But
That's a very important part of the movie.
They've
though,
strangled
like,
their classmate and try to have like a dinner party right after.
Yeah.
And basically they're this.
Mr.
The
Rear
crime-
Window,
the-
Mr. Rear Window detective comes in.
Yeah, James Stewart, great as ever. But this
No,
crime
no,
they
wait a
committed and their whole ideology behind it, like just crumbled. How it like just crumbles in one evening. It's very entertaining and funny in some ways for sure. But yeah, that was my favorite first time I watched it this year.
It's a great pick. My favorite watch this year should honestly come as no surprise. The greatest Hawksian movie ever made, The Mission.
Oh, shit. Okay. It is Hawksian. It is Hawksian. I'll give it to you.
I don't know about
Greatest Hawksian film.
It's too exciting and tense to be honest. Tense, I used the word. You said he doesn't take the attention. You can't say anything.
Is The Mission that tense, though?
Yes.
Like, it kind of gets
The
it
ending?
on.
Yeah.
It's, like, kind of
Yeah,
tense,
I'm
but
not,
also,
the
like...
ten- the
multiple
ending is
shootout
tense.
scenes.
Thing is, like...
I'm never that worried about
I
the
love
boys,
that
though.
movie, but,
They're
like,
too
honestly,
good.
like... I like the tense. I don't really think of the tension first. Basically, is what I'm saying.
I think of the
John Cho's like a
relationships.
master of tension.
Yeah.
He's more Hitchcockian.
Like Blake said, he does think of the relationships more, which is like what you said for
Yeah.
Especially in this
Like, I
movie.
think the relationships are more
Yeah.
important than the tension.
Yeah, I think
I don't
that's
know if
true.
you
I think that's true. with this
agree.
movie,
I don't know if
too.
you agree with me when I said that.
I'll
But
probably agree with that.
okay. You're on my side now. So
But still, the mission, yeah.
But yes, The Mission. I mean, we have an entire podcast on this. One of my favorite podcasts, honestly. I love that podcast with The Mission. So, but
not biased whatsoever.
not
but-
biased whatsoever. No. No.
So like you like came up with that movie for that podcast, you know? No, I'm joking.
I think that was the only podcast movie I had on here actually too. So
Damn.
my number one.
Is it like a clear number one for you? Like was it like a?
It was very close with Merry
Okay.
Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Okay.
But The Mission, I will watch more in my life, most likely, just because it's literally 80 minutes and it goes by like that, like so fast.
Okay.
It's just such an easy watch. And we talked about this on the podcast, but he leaves so much unsaid in that movie that watching it again, you pick up on things
absolutely.
so many times, so many more things you
Oh.
pick up on, dude. Like,
That could have been on my rewatch list. Actually, though, I watched it for the first time this year.
yeah, I watched it for the first time this year too, which is why I
Because
didn't.
that was
bother
actually
to rewatch
that was a
this.
very impactful rewatch for me. Like I was
Oh.
like, wait, this movie is fucking incredible. Like
It's literally incredible whenever you
Yeah.
watch it again.
All right. My number one is, I guess technically I'm picking a movie, but I told Luke I'm probably not gonna. I have to be honest. So my number one watches because it counts.
watches.
He loves
I
And
watching
the
a
year,
theater.
especially because I have to be honest, it'll be what I remember the most from this year. It's not necessarily the filmmakers, but some of the painters I learned about for the first time. Because I mean, it
How
counts
about-
because I got into painting through film. Like that's what got me interested in painting in the first place. So I am picking. If I have to pick a film, Matisse's Voyages documentary,
okay.
because it was a great
doc.
doc. It is a really really good documentary too. It's just like full of quotes basically, which I love.
Okay. Oh, that's like really made for you. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I have a quote from the movie, and it works for me because it's a Matisse quote where he says, "quote When I work, it is a kind of perpetual cinema."
We were never disagreeing with
No,
you.
no.
We were just
but
saying
Luke,
this is
the
a
reason I'm
film
trying to defend this
podcast.
because Luke is like really hating on this.
Because you were like, I'm gonna have
technically-
some painters on my list.
Oh
Like-
yeah, because and not only are they're basically my number ones basically. So because
I thought you were
I went
ranking-
through
I thought
my
you were
list of
ranking
some of the
them.
painters I've like.
He's ranking now. It's completely
Not ranked.
arbitrary.
Well, none of these are ranked, but
You
like
said you're not.
I wanted to mention a few of the painters that, at least that have stood out to me this year that I studied. As I was reading through like kind of the history of painting. So William Blake, William Turner, Pissarro, James McNeill Whistler, Cezanne, and then the two more modern ones, Matisse. That was the one from the documentary, and then Kandinsky, who's a Russian abstract painter, and. Like though I haven't got too much into the more modern paintings yet, so I've kind of like got up to like 1920 so far. But this was basically the year that I started really like reading a lot about painting and kind of taking it basically reading level as much as seriously as film, and kind of like seeing the connections of like there's a reason I picked Nicholas Ray number one because like he's to me like a painter of cinema. Like he approaches cinema the same way a lot of painters do, and that's why it's been really interesting studying some of these painters. and seeing how similar they are into like their approach of like how a filmmaker would approach.
Well,
At least my favorite filmmakers, how they approached some of their same questions.
Godard said painting is Rossellini, and then cinema is Nicholas Ray.
Cinemas, but painting is cinema though. So
Oh my God.
there we go. I mean,
Wait, how did you watch this movie?
it's on YouTube.
Oh shit! Because I was gonna say you're like one of only 4 people that have logged
Yeah.
this on Letterboxd.
I was only one of 2, so okay, that means 2 other people.
Yeah.
They saw you, bro.
Uh,
I'll have to watch that though.
No, yeah, it's so good. But because they also like, to me, it's the more I've like just been just thinking about this, like, I care more about visual art more than just like film per se, you know, because like I was making this argument to Luke and Blake before last week. There are painters to me that are more film-like in terms of what I like about film. And there are some filmmakers
I'm not
that are like
with
so
this
bad,
point.
like they don't even care about what I care about in film, you know. So like, oh, they are technically making a film, so like they would be more qualified for this list. But like what I appreciate about film, there are painters that easily surpass that qualification, you know. So, yeah, especially like when I started learning more about these like the early 1900s painters, when they started knowing about cinema too. And, like, they were knowingly, consciously thinking about that, of, like, there are similarities and differences between the two mediums. It's, like, been really interesting to learn about, but I'm only starting to read about it more. And then, okay, just to kind of cheat, too, because I mentioned painters, I have to mention a book, too, because it's going to be a book that probably, like, I think about for a long-ass time, and I finished it I only started it 2 years, in 2023, and I finished it this year. Bergson's Matter and Memory. Because I mentioned Bergson a lot throughout the podcast, I feel like, or maybe not that much, but it's a big book for me, and yeah, I just learned today that Matisse also was a huge Bergson fan, which is just crazy. So it's another connection, and Rossellini loved Bergson too, but yeah, that's my number 1 film. Matter and Memory.
A book and a painter.
Yeah, a book and painters.
All right. Now,
But see, that's why you love Katana so much. So.
Oh, you haven't even seen Achilles and the Tortoise.
No, I haven't. But all of those movies are paintings.
Yes. Especially like the, especially from the process of the creator too. So like the director or the painter, like how they approach.
That's why I was never disagreeing with you on your point. I was just saying it's a film podcast.
No, it's not. It's okay. I mean, kind of. Yeah, but it's a film podcast. But I was saying, what is a film to me? That's where I was making the argument.
But see, we have
How do we define a film?
we have director painters that make moving paintings.
But painters also made moving paintings.
They make paintings that move me.
Exactly. Isn't that what's important though? That's what I'm saying. That's exactly. You're actually making my point of like, especially like what's the difference between a film and a painting if it's like the idea is to move you visually, you know, through a visual medium.
No, yes. That's why I said I wasn't disagreeing with you, but
Sounds like you were.
Yeah.
But okay. Those are our top 10s.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Now we're doing
Film resolutions.
Film resolution.
yes. This can be as broad as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Just-
Mainly, I just wrote down directors that I want
That
to
you wanna
try to watch this year. Can't guarantee anything, but I'm just gonna put it out here to put some pressure on myself. I limited it to 5 because I was like, I didn't. And honestly, I'm probably forgetting somebody.
I also
Sure.
have 5.
I want to watch more. I've watched quite a bit of Mizoguchi, but I still need to watch a lot more of him and rewatch some stuff. So he's definitely one I want to, and probably maybe like read more about too, because I found him really interesting. Hong Sang-soo. I just watched the novelist film a couple weeks ago for the first time, and it blew me away. So I need to.
Sue's got so many good
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff too. So, and he fucking hell, he's producing like 2 a year at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
So I might as well start. Jia Zhang-Ke, Chinese director.
He's got great movies.
Really, like any like newer like filmmaker that's like international director I need to watch. Like Pedro Costa, I need to watch. Still need to watch more of. Bertrand Bonello. There's some other ones too I'm forgetting right now. And then Frank Borzage, I want to watch more. Continue to watch more of. Like I kind of got distracted. And then I kind of want to get I want to finish Jacques Rivette too, but I do want to try and watch some Claude Chabrol because I still haven't seen any of his movies.
I think I've seen 2.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, because like I've seen like all the other French New Wave guys, like quite a bit from all of them. Just like for him, I still haven't watched. So a lot of people love him. So yeah, those are like the directors I kind of want to try and focus on this year.
Awesome.
Okay. I definitely have a few directors I want to get to. Definitely some directors I know you guys have watched before. Some of the biggest ones are Satyajit Ray. Yeah. But obviously a very big filmography to get through there. But I'll try my best.
All of them are.
Yeah. Ozu is another one I really have only watched a couple of that I need to get to.
We have a podcast series on.
Yes. But the one I've been watching the most recently, that I've watched a few of already, but Kieslowski.
Oh, yeah.
And Danny actually owns, I think, all of his Decalogue
The
series.
Decalogue one too, yeah.
So I might have to borrow those at some point.
Yeah.
But the few movies of his that I have watched that I've really loved, but I haven't watched any of the Three Colors trilogy. So that's a big...
Also, I mentioned Johnny To. Johnny To loves Kieslowski.
Okay.
Like, he talks about him all the time. It's just like, you don't see directors bring him up a lot.
And I don't love Kieslowski.
Oh, okay. You're wrong.
Hater.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not talking about that.
I remember really liking him when I did watch him, but I haven't watched him in a long time, or in a few years. Like, I loved the Three Colors trilogy when I did watch them. Especially Red, I really loved.
The one that I've watched that's really stuck with me is the Double Life of Vern.
Yeah, I really like that.
I think I've watched that one twice, actually, but I love that.
I actually still haven't seen that one.
Damn.
I haven't either.
It's like Three Colors. No.
He did a short film about killing and a short film about love.
Yep.
Thing.
Those are part of the
both
Decalogue.
those.
Oh,
okay.
one of those is like, there's a longer version too or something.
Because I like both of those.
Yeah.
And I remember, I've only seen 2 of the Three Colors trilogy, and I remember liking them decently. But my film resolutions, one of them I already said, watch Johnny To's rom-coms, finally. The next one was, I had this Cocteau biography that I wanted to read, along with some of his poems.
Okay.
And then probably look at some of his paintings too. But then at the same time, obviously, watch his filmography, because I really want, like, he's always what people like call a poet, like literally, like he's a poet.
No, you remember the line that the guy read in La Petite Soldat that we talked about, the Jean Cocteau line, where he's like, this guy who like played dead or whatever, like actually dies. Like for him, like fiction became a reality or something.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was like so
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
I can't. I don't remember the exact quote. I was like, that was amazing.
Yeah, no, I need. So I'm definitely gonna get.
I need to watch Cocteau also because like Demi loved him apparently.
Well, like he's very like from what like the pictures I've seen and some of the paintings I've seen, he's definitely got a style that I think I will love. So, but he's definitely one I'm gonna get to. Next one I'm gonna definitely try and get to is watching Nagisa Oshima's filmography finally as well.
Okay,
more than the 3 I have. And then I have rewatched Tarkovsky also finally, because I haven't watched most of Tarkovsky's filmography since like 2018. And then I'm probably also going to try and choose a new Russian director to watch as well after that, just because Russia is one of the countries I don't have.
Like
I
Soviet,
don't
like
watch
you
very
thinking
much.
like old Soviet, like
not old
Eisenstein or
Soviet,
something?
not well. Actually, that's a good idea because I haven't watched it.
Because honestly, Eisenstein could be on my list actually.
Yeah, I haven't watched very many
Yeah.
Eisenstein. You just gave me an idea. So
See, I was like, I always there's like a lot of them forgetting about right now that like when I think about, I'm like, actually, yeah, I actually want to get to them.
these were the important ones that I'm definitely gonna try to get to.
So should we have like a 100 push-up bet or whatever? If you don't watch all these directors, you have to do 100 push-ups. Next year.
Does it count if you watch one movie?
See, that's why I don't have any directors on mine, so I don't have to do it.
Come on, this guy's not trying to. Yeah, this guy.
Well, and then my last thing is not technically film related, but it's something that we've been talking about doing a while, and it's actually just going to a national park to photograph stuff finally.
Oh, okay.
So I want that to be an actual resolution that we do this year.
We should,
So,
yes. Okay.
putting it out in the universe.
Yes. No, okay, damn. You threw me off. So, okay, well, I have a few. So my first is, we mentioned this right before, but is try to start the podcast on time.
That won't happen.
Is that doing a whole podcast?
That's some
before we
lore
start
that no one knows about, though.
Yeah,
really.
well, no. But, you know,
We're
now
bad
I'm putting that on the record, too. It won't happen.
It's not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's not gonna happen.
It'll happen. It's a resolution.
No.
It's a resolution. Another one is
All resolutions come true. Everyone
Shut
knows
up.
that.
Yes, sir. That's why we're doing it. Next one is this is true for all of us, but also me too. Is make a video essay of some kind.
Yeah,
True.
I do want to do that.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while too.
Yeah, and we still haven't delivered.
Yeah, we still haven't delivered, but and then for like the new directors, like I don't have what I really want to do. I've been saying this also for a few years is get more into experimental cinema and video too, experimental video.
Yeah.
Just kind of learning more about that aspect, and that kind of is related to like Blake's on like just photography too, because that's to me like in a way that might be the future of cinema itself is like more independent people just finding ways to experiment like without big budgets or
I mean, I
literally
tend
no
to
budgets,
agree
you know?
because one of the only modern directors that I kind of I haven't watched. I didn't watch one of his movies this year, but it's Sky Hopinka.
Oh, I remember. Yeah,
He does some amazing things with the
I mean,
camera.
I picked Biting
Some
Nowhere as my number one film. and
Exactly.
it's part of that like
part of that tradition.
Yes. But I definitely need to learn more about it in general. Like, so yeah, that's definitely a goal. And then also my last one, it's film adjacent. It's read more about film, but especially read more about Bergson and Deleuze and their kind of like, their kind of approach to just philosophy and then film too. Because to them, it's like it's all related in a way. It's like film and art is just a way to kind of engage with truth. That's also what philosophy is. So. Yeah, that's like something that's just like years long thing for me, but yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess last thing we're gonna do is go through our Letterboxd stats for the year.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, first off, put out here how many movies did you watch this year, or diary entries, I should say.
Diary entries.
Let's see who got the most this year.
Wait, actually, I haven't logged all mine yet, but
I haven't
these
either,
fucking
actually.
guys,
Damn.
so goddamn lazy.
Let me count the ones I haven't logged.
See, this is exactly why I can't keep the Floating Film Letterbox up to date. Is because when you post the episodes, I still don't have your ratings. So then I have to like wait, and then I forget about it, and it's like it just never comes updated. Yeah, fucking hell, you Danny, that's you. Both of y'all's probably so
I'm like 11 movies behind.
damn. Danny was okay. A
These guys are
week
real
or two ago, he was a
slackers.
month behind, which is insane.
I'm
Like over a
only
month.
7 now. I'm only 7.
7 months?
7
months?
Damn.
So I'm at 277 then, diary entries.
Okay, 337 for me.
Including the ones that I don't have, it's 349.
Damn.
I'm all up to date on mine, but I'm the lowest. I'm at 191.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I'm okay with it.
I probably have
That's
to
way
source
more
it
than the
actually.
average person. So
This
We're all way more
is a
than
light
that.
year for me. It's a light year.
Yeah.
Light work.
it was a down year for me, I think, too, because I think I watched more last year. So
Okay. Yeah. No, I watched so much more the last few years. I feel like. All right. So let me see. What was your first and last film? I guess last film won't really probably won't stay the same.
well, last film, I guess I'll just say the last one I watched. What did I watch today? I don't know if I watched a movie. Oh, I know I watched Jingle All the Way.
No. What was your first film of the year though?
My first film was What Time Is It There?
Okay, my first film was Pierre Le Fou. So Danny.
My first film was a Mani Ratnam movie called Iruvar, about a Tamil politician.
Yeah.
I honestly barely remember watching that. Then my last movie I watched yesterday, Gladiator 2. I'll probably watch another movie.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying.
better.
My last film won't stay the same because I like to start the year on a good note and end the year on a good note.
Same.
So I think last year I did on Uncut Gems, which was a very good note.
It's
We were all here for that,
it's a
right?
good note.
We watched it here, New Year's Eve.
Maybe.
We probably drank too much. No, you don't remember. And then I
I
started the
don't
year
know
on a
my
good note with Pierre Le
pictures,
Fou. So I think yeah.
And Dustin, do you guys?
Yeah, my first of the year was a Walter Hill film called Hard Times. It's about Charles Bronson, who's like this street fighter.
Hard time.
I think it's set during the Great Depression, but it's kind of interesting movie. And my most recent watched film was a director I mentioned wanting to watch more of in my resolution, which was Kieslowski, his 1976 movie, The Scar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, I guess we can go to most watched movies. I watched. Okay, so there's 3 movies I watched 3 times actually. Damn. Because I mentioned I watched Nero's Hotel and Journey to Italy or Voyage in Italy 3 times each. But I also watched Smiling Tenet 3 times. I didn't even realize.
Oh.
Yeah, that movie's addicting. And then I've Always Loved You. I've watched twice. The Messiah. I watched twice. Blaise Pascal. Okay, all the Ross and Laney ones.
Yeah,
basically. I watched
twice.
twice. There's actually probably even more, but I can't get to it. There's definitely a lot more that I watched twice. So I'm curious about you, Danny. Honestly, for
I watched The Messiah 3 times.
Okay.
Damn. And then The Mission 3 times. Those are my 2.
Okay.
And I had a lot twice, like
Yeah,
Winter
me
Across
too.
Everglades and the Ross Laney's.
Yeah.
Probably some other ones too. Doesn't show all of them.
10.
I watched The Mission 4 times.
Damn.
And then, kind of flipping back to last year, I watched The Killer and A Bear Tomorrow 3 times this year.
Damn.
Wait, damn.
Yeah, and I watched a bunch twice, obviously, like Sea of the Sea and
3's really
Christmas
like
Special,
if
like
you
I
watched
said.
it a bunch.
I watched McKay Miss Miller like 4 times last year. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think last year, because I listened to our podcast again, I think I had A Bear Tomorrow 6 times last year.
So wait,
You watched almost
9
10
times, almost 10
I
times.
watched it 9 times in 2
You're
years.
almost at Dustin's parents' numbers. For
Oh, this is a way better
Roadhouse.
movie. Though. This is a way better movie though. It
not,
deserves
not apparently for how many times you watched it though. 10 and 2, only 9 and 2 compared to 10 and 1.
Well, see, the problem is I like watching
You
other
stop your
movies,
numbers,
too.
Blake. You hate it.
I love other movies too. So. Although I will say, anytime I decide to listen to the score at work, I immediately go home and watch it. So those 3 times.
Keep that score away from him. Don't let him get to it.
I just can't, man. It's too good. It gets me in the mood.
That's fair.
Gets him in the mood. So. Well, you guys have all got me beat on this one because I've only rewatched a movie once this year.
Damn.
Or like
Damn.
watched a movie
Yeah,
twice
no,
this
Dustin
year.
hates
Rewatch
rewatching.
Hater, bro.
No.
Is it
It's
Lair of
just
the
like,
White
I like
Worm?
to. Yeah, it is.
Let's go! I knew it.
Wait, what? Wait,
Lair of the White Worm. by
Ken
Russell.
Russell.
I usually like to wait at least a year between rewatches, but this is one I had to rewatch because I had to get a watch.
No, I'm just kidding.
I had to get a. Well, it's just a personal preference.
No, yeah.
Okay.
But it's one I had to rewatch to get Danny to watch it, which I think you liked it.
I don't know.
Very funny movie.
I've been reading this book on Kitano called Beat Takeshi versus Takeshi Kitano, and the writer for that book is a Japanese film critic called Kasio Abe, and his theory on how you should critique films, which I'm not with him completely, although I'm starting to become more with him the more I rewatch movies, is he doesn't write anything down whenever he watches it. He just goes to the theater like 8 to 10 times a week seeing that one movie.
That's how like a lot of people used to be.
Yeah, like
back in the day.
because like that's how movies in his mind are meant to be meant to be critiqued, is like what you remember, because that's literally what movies are as, like memory. So
No, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I would actually say one of my biggest factors in rating a movie is how likely I would be to rewatch it again, or how much I would want to rewatch it again.
that's very fair too.
Yeah.
I always give movies a little bit of a higher rating if I know I'm gonna like them on a rewatch.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go. I'm in the breakdown section now. We're about to expose ourselves.
Ooh, okay.
The 2024 premieres to older films. What are our percentages here? 96.1% for me.
Damn, only 93%.
I got
Wait,
you.
what?
I got only
So you
93.
didn't watch as much as me though.
17
So,
new watches. How many new?
13.
Oh,
Wait,
I love new movies.
some of those actually is it because some of the 2024 movies are labeled as 2023 for some reason because like
Oh,
the
that's
festival
true, the
bullshit.
release.
So there's
I'm
actually
at-
there's a bit more for me.
I'm at 96.4. Only 12 new movies, and
Damn. So yeah, you're more than me. Damn.
Yeah. I'm at 95.3.
damn, no new movies for Dustin.
Yeah, just
So
9.
basically, if you want anything to know about new movies,
Don't come here.
We're all
listen to the wrong
Occasionally
podcast.
we're all like 5-6% new movies.
Yeah.
Occasionally we hit a good one like Challengers and Trap.
Yeah. Listen to those, but it's rough out of that. Okay, another interesting one though. Watches rewatches.
Yeah.
I'm proud of mine this year. 67.1% watches, 32.9 rewatches.
That's pretty good.
That's a good ratio right there.
Mine is
Not enough
66.9. Mine is 66.9 watches to 33.1% rewatches.
So you and Luke will be the same.
Which that raised from last year, because last year I think it was like a 70-30, maybe 75.
I think mine was like a 70, like a 75-25 or like 80-20 for last year.
I'm at 59%.
Damn.
40% rewatches.
That's so insane.
That makes sense.
I'll preface my rating by saying
honestly,
you guys do a
I'm so curious what
podcast.
Dustin-
You guys do a podcast.
You guys do a podcast,
True.
which leads to more rewatches.
No, sir.
And
Let's
because
see
you
yours.
watch more movies in general.
You hate rewatching?
my ratio is like 80-20 though. Yeah.
80 to watches to rewatches?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, that's more than I was expecting rewatch was.
Let's see. Okay, reviewed, not reviewed.
No, okay, that's...
I don't care.
No, actually,
my review don't even count because I just use quotes a lot of the time.
It's okay, but this is I like this for me because I actually wanted to write more reviews this year.
Did you?
Yes,
What percent?
I'm still not. I still need to get them up because it's 25% reviewed.
Yeah, that's low.
Which is like okay for me. In past years, it's better.
Yeah.
I still want to bump that up. You know, it's a process. And I feel like my writing has improved somewhat this year.
You got some.
Hopefully, you guys agree.
You got some good reviews.
Sure.
Hopefully, it's gotten better, right, guys?
Yes.
That was enthusiastic.
I'm a very enthusiastic guy.
Wait, I'm also curious about yours though.
I'm 73% reviewed.
Damn, I'm trying to get like that. I'm trying to get like that.
Damn,
bro.
like, yeah.
Damn.
Like, guy writes reviews too.
Yeah, he does.
Sometimes.
A lot more than most of them.
True.
Yeah, a lot more than this. Yeah.
Well, if I try to make an actual review if I'm writing one, so. And a lot of the times it's just writing down what I have in my mind because I want to remember what I thought at the time so that I can come back and see if I disagree with myself because I have a lot.
Yeah. I definitely think that's one of the advantages to writing reviews. Like, you can see exactly what
What you
thought
were
of the
thinking
movie.
at the time.
Yeah. But kind of going into what I was saying earlier about rewatches, like, I really don't like to write down what I think of a movie before I've watched it twice,
Yeah.
personally. But that being said, I barely review movies.
Because you barely rewatch movies.
Well, that's part of it.
So then, yeah, you wouldn't
and the ones I do write are usually jokes, but but I'm at a ratio of like 98-2, so only 2% I've reviewed
Damn.
from this year. Yeah.
I'm probably actual reviews. I'm probably around there too. So.
Damn. Should we go to cast now?
Sure.
I'll just go down my list. I feel like it's gonna be the number one's gonna be similar for us three. It's Buster Keaton probably
Yes,
for you
sir.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
18 films from him. 9 George Méliès films. Wait, what? Apparently he acted in his movies. I did not even know that. Or at least his credit with all of them because I did watch quite a bit of Méliès this year. 8 Anna Karina films. 7 Mikhail Piccoli films. 7 Gina Rowland films. 6 Ward Bond films. 6 Simon Yam films. 5 Gary
Cooper.
Gary Cooper films, 5 Jerry Lewis films, 5 Kinuyo Tanaka films, 5 Cary Grant films, 5 Will Ogier films. I can go on, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through the ones that
actually,
people
damn, the
probably
list is a
know.
lot more expanded now. You can go a lot.
Oh yeah,
deeper
you can
now.
go a lot deeper. I'm just gonna go through the ones that are not supporting actors because a lot of these were supporting actors in Shang-Chi's movies. But obviously Buster Keaton, like you said, Lamb Suits, love that man, Johnny Toe actor. Lamb Suit, I had 14 films from him. T. Lung, I had 13. David Shang, I had 11. Chai Ying-fat, I had 10. Simon Yam, I had 9. Apparently, that's a lot. I didn't realize I watched 9. Kitano had 8. Andy Law 8. Louis Coe 8. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I have a lot of the same. Keaton, Lamb Suet, a lot of the Johnny Toe.
Yeah.
regulars.
A lot of the Johnny Toe regulars.
We watch a lot of Johnny Toe on our Friday.
Yes, we do.
Gina Rollins. Anna
Oh yeah,
Karina.
Gina Rollins
Yeah.
on mine too.
Yeah, a lot of the same actors appear in a lot of the same directors we watch. So.
Yeah. Dustin, you?
So mine, Also, a lot of Johnny To actors. Lamp Sweat, Jimmy Wong Wo Wo, or Wow Wo.
Johnny Wow Wow Wow.
Whoa, whoa.
And then a few frequent collaborators with like Jim Jarmusch, Richard Bose, RZA. Yeah, he's in a few of them.
He's in Ghost Dog right now.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi. Because I went through the Alien franchise, I've watched a lot of Sigourney Weaver also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce the name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sigourney.
Mhm.
That's crazy. That's a crazy name.
Yes.
Now to the more important one, probably for us, the directors.
Yes.
I'm curious if we have a similar top range, us three. My number one, and by like 11 movies, is Godard. 27 Godard
27,
films
wow.
this
Yeah,
year.
I didn't know you watched that many.
I didn't either.
There's a few shorts in there, but yeah, that's a lot. I actually didn't even realize
That's
it's
a lot,
27.
yeah.
And I was like, damn. 16, Buster Keaton. 13, Rossellini. 13, Turner.
You watched more Buster Keaton than I did.
Damn!
Fake
Easy.
fan?
Which
Fake
one
fan.
did you watch that I did?
I don't fucking remember. Wait, what? Actually, it's like, okay.
It must
See,
have
I
been
don't
one
know.
that. Oh, you must have watched one of the shorts that we weren't doing just for fun on our shorts.
Oh, I
episode,
watched
probably.
Neighbors.
Yeah, that we didn't do that.
I watched Sherlock Jr. twice
That's fair.
for the podcast.
I mean, Sherlock Jr. deserves to be watched twice.
Yeah. Damn. Let's go. I like Keaton better now. 13 Roberto Rossellini films, 13 Jacques Tourneur films, 13 Howard Hawks films, 11 Jacques Brevet films, 10 Luis Buñuel films, 10 John Woo films, 9 Cassavetes, 8 Lubitsch, 7 Ford, 6 Mizoguchi, 6 Nicholas Ray. Yeah. There's a lot more too, but I'll let y'all go.
I mean, my top two are not on the podcast, actually, which I'm proud of. Jacques Tourneur at 20.
What's your number one?
That's my number
Damn.
one. Chang Che, I watched 16 of his movies. And then Buster Keaton, I had 15. John Woo, obviously. And Godard are 12. The next one that's not on the podcast, because we got Rossellini and Buñuel on there too. And Cassavetes. The next one is Johnny To at 10 films. I have Kenji Fukasaku at 8. I watched 7 more Kitano films this year, although a lot of those were rewatches. I did watch 5 Roger Corman movies this year before kind of falling off of him. I want to watch more, but the movies I started with, because I did kind of start chronologically, I did not like at all.
Damn.
So
that's the downside of going chronologically.
Yeah, because I know he.
That's why I
know
kind of
he
like don't
definitely
like.
gets
That's
better.
also why I kind of like don't going chronologically.
That's fair.
Because like thing is, like, if you watch the popular films, a lot of times it will make you more interested into going and watching those films and improve those films that may be worse. And also, I think a big argument for chronological is that you can see the development of a director, but like to me, I don't have a problem seeing the development even in retrospect.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go to something later for Roger Corman because I definitely did not like the early stuff that much. So
I had watched a few Hitchcocks before this year, but I actually started with Dial M for Murder and Rope, I think, and I'm not sure I would have gotten through all of Hitchcock's wartime like spy movies if I hadn't watched those first two first, because I don't like those nearly as much.
which wartime spy movie?
There's a few.
Because 39 Steps is kind of wartime spy movie too.
But
But
there's main ones I'm talking like Saboteur.
Saboteur's bad. Yeah, I don't like
I don't like
Saboteur.
it. Yeah, there's a few though.
39 Steps you'll like though.
Yeah, I bet I will. But going through my most watched directors, I'll just go through the top 5. Hitchcock, obviously. I watched 14 of his.
Damn.
I watched 11 Cronenberg.
Let's go.
10 Jim Jarmusch. 8 Paul Schrader movies. And then tied for 5th is Mario Bava and Johnny To.
Mario Bava.
Yeah.
I like a lot. I like some of Mario Bava movies. I need to watch more.
He's like the Italian like yellow guy.
Yeah.
So my number 1 is Johnny To, 14.
Nice.
Damn, only 14?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Buñuel 14.
Get those numbers up.
Keaton 13. Nicholas Ray 12. Rossellini and John Woo 12. Godard 12. Turner only 7. And Pasolini 7. Those are my highest.
Okay. They actually added, if you guys scroll down, you can see your longest and shortest movie you watched this year.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Because That should be interesting. Danny and I probably have the same longest film. Swadu Cinema probably is your longest film.
Damn, where is that? It's all the way at the bottom?
It's like here with like the highest average, lowest average, most popular, most obscure. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn. Callous Music.
Is your shortest one?
Yeah.
Hey, that's mine too.
Damn. Wait, yeah, you
I
didn't watch short
watched
films?
it too.
Because my
History of Cinema.
okay, yeah, because my shortest is it's a Méliès film, The Vanishing Lady, where he makes a woman disappear then reappear.
Oh yeah.
Magic of Cinema.
No, that's a good one, man.
Sir.
No, my shortest is also Catalyst Music. Longest, Lord of the Rings. Return of the King. My oldest was Intolerance, which I'm surprised I didn't watch a more movie than that.
Oh yeah, my oldest is also the Méliès film.
That makes sense.
Damn.
My most obscure is Fortress of the Dead. What is this movie? When did I watch this?
Damn. I guess we could do rated higher than average and rated lower than average is like the last ones. So like rated higher than average, Old, Deja Vu, Tenet, Miami Vice, New Rose Hotel, The Bellboy. And then rated lower than average, Civil War, Poor Things, the Nothing Except Everything short film that we watched. Because I gave 1/2 star. Saturday Night, Red Cliff Part 2, and then
shit.
Under the Blossoming Cherry Trees.
Damn. Alright. My rated higher than average. Youth Without Youth. And Megalopolis 2 Coppolas. Just funny.
Damn.
Gamer. Damn, I need to rewatch Gamer, honestly. That was earlier this year. Also, because I already talked about Crank at some point earlier.
You
in this
did,
episode.
yeah.
Damn, their style is really stuck with me. I gotta go back. And then Old. 2 or 3 things I know about her, which is crazy. And then A Mighty Nowhere for higher than average. Lower than average. A Woman Under the Influence. Hey, that's crazy.
Okay,
It
here's
has
the thing.
4.4?
If you actually gave the low ratings like they did, it probably would be different though, right? For you.
Yeah.
You don't give low ratings. You just like don't rate them at all.
He gave Woman Under the Influence 3 stars though. That's
See,
still above his. That's still.
Yeah, I
above
mean,
his
I'm
low
still
bar.
roasting you for that.
I
'cause
mean,
that's
Infernal
absurd.
Affairs I gave 3. That somehow has a 4.2.
But like all these can be 3 stars.
4.0.
Probably.
Dune Part 2, I gave 3.5. And that's like the highest rated movie on
I give that 3.5
I
too.
feel like a
fucking
lot
insane.
of popular new movies are
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Both
I
the
give
new
that-
Like
movies
their
on
stats
here.
are inflated for sure.
7 Chances I gave 3. And that has 3.91.
on,
And then
Danny.
Metropolis I gave 3.5.
You give 7 chances of 3.
I know that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
just not hearing
bro.
about this.
I mean, he was kind of like not enthusiastic about.
That's
it,
true.
So he was not-
And Metropolis 2, in love.
My rated higher than average. These are funny. A lot of these are really funny. So, Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, rated higher than average. Knockoff. That's returning from last year too.
Okay.
Old as well. Starship Troopers 3. People hate fun apparently. That movie's awesome. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, okay.
And then Goodbye to Language, rated
Sure.
higher than average.
Danny still hasn't watched it.
And then my rated lower than
He
average.
called me a
ones-
fake dart man.
Yeah, you need to watch that movie though.
I
For
know,
real.
I need to, I know.
I do too.
Shame on you.
Oh.
But then rated lower than average, Saltburn, obviously. That's insane. That movie's still at 3.4 on Letterboxd.
Damn.
Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. Also insane. That movie has above a 1. Fucking insane. But hey, you know. Five Nights at Freddy's, I watched that this year apparently. Insidious, The Last Key, I watched this year apparently. I watched Renfield this... Wait, is that his name? Renfield this year?
The
The vampire Nicolas Cage movie. That's rated lower than average.
That movie looks so bad.
I'm surprised that movie's almost at 3 on Letterboxd too, because that's ones people hate to hate or love
It's
to
the
hate.
Nick Cage
so
movies, probably.
maybe
They're like a bit more sympathetic.
he doesn't
towards
save it though. But and then my last one that rated lower than average is Roger Corman's The Terror. All of those are 1 or lower.
Dustin.
I don't know if I have those.
Oh, it might be a patron stat.
Yeah.
That one might. No, yeah, it's patron only. It says patron
Damn.
only.
Only pro.
So
Damn, they locking you out,
I exposed
bro.
him.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Dustin's like, I didn't care about those stats anyway.
I won't pay.
Damn. All right.
Damn. We went long.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. This guy was like, they won't go
Could've
too long.
guessed.
No, we're going long.
Always.
That's 2024.
Next week,
That's 2024.
I guess we're a bit out of order here, so next week could actually be week 1 of Nicholas Ray.
Yes.
Which is the series I'm choosing.
I'm excited.
Long time coming.
Yes.
I'm excited to finally watch the man.
What are we starting with? Let me look. They Live by Night, and I think In a Lonely Place.
I've seen that one.
But it's okay if you change it by then. We'll forgive you.
No, it's not gonna change.
Okay.
They Live by Night and In a Lonely Place.
Let's go.
Week 1, Nicholas
I
Ray.
might start reading it at Lonely Place too, just because I want to.
Okay, but like,
Or I've been wanting to, but
why are you looking at me like that? Oh yeah, this guy's the In a Lonely Place hater right
No,
here.
he's gonna outfan you.
Oh. That's funny as shit. So yeah, until next week, hope to see you floating through the clouds.
I saw the TV glow. I am in the 8th grade, sending grown and grainy photos of my web cage. My bedroom has no doors, so I can never close them. I paint the ceiling black, so I don't notice when my eyes are open. I paint the ceiling black, so I don't notice when my eyes are open. Somewhere south of Tallahassee, a teenage boy with a summer job. He's driving grown men around a golf course. He's going home to a manicured lawn and digging holes in his manicured lawn. I think I was born bored. I think I was born blue. I think I was born wanting more. I think I was born already missing you. But my heart is like a claw machine. Its only function is to reach it. Can't hold on to anything. No, I can't.